Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Well, I turned on MSNBC and Morning Joe for like 30 seconds because I was scrolling through channels while on the elliptical, and I saw Mika Brzezinski, the daughter of a hardcore global war criminal, blaming the Second Amendment for terror attacks and saying white men are the problem. That clip's coming up today. That's just some of what we've got here. It is so crazy how much the globalists hate this country. Star Wars smashes U.S. box office record, probably one of the worst movies ever made. I'll give you the review of that. We'll get into a bunch of people run over by a car in Las Vegas. Will they call for banning cars? Probably. That is, people driving their own cars. That's where all this is going. Huge geopolitical news, huge election news, huge Trump news as Obama plays the race card on him. It is just crazy. And now the federal government's come out and basically admitted that they are geoengineering covertly. It's all coming up. First, a powerful report from John Bound on the social engineering.
A transgender father who abandoned his 7 children to start a new life as a 6-year-old girl is being celebrated by some liberals as a shining example of diversity. Stephanie Walsh is being profiled by numerous media outlets after she revealed her story in a video interview for the Transgender Project.
I can't deny I was married. I can't deny I have children. But I've moved forward now, and I've gone back to
Frankenstein with a red wig.
I don't want to be an adult right now, and I just live my life like I couldn't.
And everyone has to pay for you.
I have a mommy and daddy, adopted mommy and daddy, who are totally comfortable with me being a little girl.
Walsh is now dressing up and pretending to be a 6-year-old girl.
The point is, why are they force-feeding this?
After being given an ultimatum by her ex-wife, who said she had to stop being trans or leave. Walsh chose to abandon the 23-year marriage along with her 7 kids and is now fulfilling her role as little sister to her new parents' youngest granddaughter. The clip has received well over 160,000 views, but feedback is overwhelmingly negative, while comments have been completely disabled. Several liberals reacted by expressing support for Walsh and celebrating her story. Walsh herself reacted to critics by vowing to take on haters face-to-face at a location in Toronto. However, the vast majority of respondents to the independent article had a very different opinion. One writes, "Oh, it's so great. What a hero. How brave. Fawn. This is what happens when lunacy is championed by the right on. This is not news," added another. "This is a mentally ill person who does not need pandering."
Wait a minute, putting Drano in your eyes? That's not cool?
Another gay man accused Walsh of being an interloper and a fetishist. One commenter also made a number of accusations against Walsh that, if true, demolish her attempt at framing herself as a victim.
It's just people clowning.
Writes, "What this report doesn't tell you is that this person was charged with assault and abuse of his wife and family. They were awarded a restraining order against him. He has also been convicted of harassment and threatening a neighbor and a peeping Tom. Also, his arrangement with his new mummy and daddy
looks like a super heavyweight, too.
One. It's also fascinating how many social justice warriors and feminists who would normally crucify a man for abandoning his wife and kids are extremely supportive of Walsh, simply because she now professes to be a 6-year-old girl. All kidding and paranoid transphobia aside, isn't this just sheer unabashed propaganda aimed at destroying the family? What's next? Maybe the outspoken mentally ill modern-day left-wing liberals will be glorifying the sad tale of Johnny List, a man who literally destroyed his family by patiently murdering them all because he had become recently unemployed and didn't want them to carry his burden. Rest assured, deadbeat dads everywhere. All you have to do is become a twisted paragon of perversion, and the left wing will carry you to victory. John Bound for Infowars.com.
That's right. Once men are destroyed, it's all over.
Thanks to the Federal Reserve System, America's economy is in a terminal decline. And according to economic expert Michael Snyder, here's 8 facts that reveal just how bad the economy really is. Number 1, the majority of all American workers bring home less than $30,000 a year in wages. Number 2, the poorest 40% of all Americans now spend most of their incomes just on food and housing. Number 3, at least 50% of Americans who rent their homes spend more than a third of their incomes on the rent. Number 4, incomes keep declining for a large majority of the U.S. population. Number 5, the price of ground beef has more than doubled since 2009. Number 6, the rate of home ownership in the U.S. has been declining for at least 7 years in a row. It's now the lowest that it's been in 20 years. Number 7, almost half of all Americans are not saving their money, and it's been estimated that 62% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Number 8, 1/3 of all Americans with student loans are currently behind on their student loan debt. Check out Infowars.com for more economic news and also our new YouTube channel, Resistance News. This is Kit Daniels reporting.
In the 15-year history of PrisonPlanet.tv, we have never offered 6 months free at Christmas. We've always offered 5 months free. But since I announced 6 free months a few days ago, we have seen record numbers of signups. PrisonPlanet.tv began 15 years ago. It's grown into InfoWars, Nightly News, and so much more. All of my documentary films, scores of ebooks, and other exclusive documentaries are available for streaming or download in HD at PrisonPlanet.tv. You don't just get 6 months free when you sign up from Christmas through New Year's. You also get to share that membership with up to 20 people simultaneously using your username. You can also sign up for a trial month and only pay $5.95, and then 20 of you and your friends and family can watch PrisonPlanet.tv, get 20 memberships at half price, be the Paul Revere in your community. That's 6 months free when you sign up for a year at PrisonPlanet.tv. For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At InfoWars Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective colloidal silver on the market today for the lowest price available. Now, InfoWarsLife.com has taken colloidal silver to the next level using a cutting-edge technique that is free of toxic artificial additives. InfoWarsLife.com developed a silver bullet by closely working with one of the top silver manufacturing labs in the United States. We set out to bring you the very best at the lowest price. Find out more about the proprietary development of Silver Bullet at InfoWarsLife.com. In these times, it's essential to have high-quality colloidal silver on hand. No survival chest is complete without Silver Bullet. Exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Secure your Silver Bullet today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Last Friday, my office phone rang, and former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura was giving me a call. And I hadn't followed the news. I didn't know that he'd gone to Russia a few weeks ago and just gotten back. And he was talking about how much freer Russia had become versus how much liberty the United States has lost. And he was talking about how he was at a press dinner with Vladimir Putin. And I said, "Did you meet Putin?" And he said, "Yes." And they started to tell me some of the story. Pretty interesting. So Jesse Ventura will be joining us in the second hour. We'll talk election 2016, also take some of your phone calls. And, you know, I understand that the media polarize things where you're either for Jesse Ventura or you're against him with the whole Chris Kyle story. And I can see that a lot of people would see Chris Kyle as an admirable character, especially once that movie came out. But all of that separately from reality, a jury found that it was not true. Because the story got changed over and over again. I know Jesse Ventura good. Say what you want about him. He would not go into a Navy SEAL bar that he'd gone to for decades when he was at a commencement speech and say, "I'm glad SEALs are dying." That just didn't happen. And I believe Chris Kyle was manipulated into adding that to his book by News Corps to politically assassinate Jesse Ventura. That said, since he's been attacked by the right wing, Ventura's moved more to the left, and I don't like it. I don't like it. But I know Ventura well. He's for real behind the scenes. He is what you get on air. So just like Donald Trump isn't perfect, I like him because he's real. That's what you get in public. It's what you get in private. He's not fake. Now, you know, I love Ron Paul. I mean, he's exactly what you see behind the scenes, what you see on television or radio. And I happen to agree with his politics about 99% of the time. But there aren't many Ron Pauls out there, are there? So I'll take a Donald Trump or a Jesse Ventura any day over somebody like Hillary Clinton, who got up during the debate that she showed up late for as an act of disrespect for everyone, and began to lie about films that ISIS is using of Donald Trump to recruit. And, of course, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, everybody ran out to find it. They've been looking for it for weeks because that's been a talking point that he's helping ISIS. And there is no such video. And now she's been caught. And the White House press secretary admits they can't find it. They can't find where Trump did this. Now we learned Hillary Clinton missed debate because she wouldn't share a bathroom. Yeah, that's how ultra mega elite she is. She had to make them all wait till they cordoned off an area for her. You don't look Hillary Clinton in the eyes when you are a waitress or a server. This is the arrogance. You don't get a tip when she's at a private restaurant. She routinely calls managers over and tells people, you get rid of that person or we're going to give you some problems. I mean, she's the ultimate witch, the ultimate narcissist. You tell a narcissist, you know, a confident person the media will call a narcissist. An aggressive person, no, that's somebody that's dominant. But a true narcissist has all those traits, but then only cares about themselves and treats service staff and people really bad consistently. You don't get bonuses working for Hillary Clinton. Unless you're her girlfriend. But continuing on, Trump lashed out at her and called her a big liar. We're going to be going over some of that today. Also, Star Wars smashes U.S. box office record. And we're not going to cover Star Wars because it's a big pop culture event. We're going to cover it because understanding Star Wars and how they've turned these media film spectacles into events, not stories, is understanding how they're dumbing down the culture. You don't just think they're going to put fluoride in the water to dumb us down or feed us GMO or have heavy metals in the water system to dumb us down, as EcoScience, White House Science R admits. They're not going to stop there. They're going to dumb the music down. They're going to dumb the writing down. They're going to dumb the literature down. They're going to dumb the attention span down. They are going to literally rewire how our brains work with the flicker rates with the televisions on record. That's all admitted. Plunging IQs, neurological death in the brain, Alzheimer's linked to television viewing. It's all there. Look it up for yourself. But I had dinner last night with a prominent producer and director who was in town just for a few days. And he called me Saturday and he said, you want to get dinner Sunday? So I went by and met him for 2 hours and had dinner. And he's been on the show before years ago. I shouldn't even say that, but there's been quite a few directors on. And he said, you know what, the way the country is now, just don't use my name. And I said, well, I don't want to plagiarize everything you just said and say I came up with it. And he goes, okay, well, you can say somebody in the media told you this or somebody in Hollywood, but just don't say my name. That's this country, this world is just too out of control at this point. I don't think you're going to save it. And he just laid out how it works in Hollywood. And I already knew this, but hearing it from him, I mean, I sat there for like an hour and a half. He just laid it all out. About they don't want stories, they don't want complex things, they don't want beautiful art, even though it'd be successful. They want dumbed-down spectacles where people think it's part of an event because millennials have been programmed. And this guy's consulted to top technology companies. He was talking about how technology companies really run everything. It is an agenda to basically end humans. And how they tell you, you know, you will produce something that's dumb and stupid and mindless that doesn't make sense on purpose to change the culture. And I was like, you got to come on the air. And I started trying to record him while he was talking. You know, I said, can I record this? And he said, no. And he just kept spewing the info. It was like when Drudge was in here spilling his guts a month and a half ago. I mean, I shouldn't even have interrupted. I mean, I was somewhat controlled, but he was just spewing, you know, inside intel and key information. Like Old Faithful or something going off. And it was the same thing last night. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And, of course, he meets and hangs out with all the other top people, and he was just telling me all this inside stuff. And I was just, oh, please, let me tell them. Oh, please. And he said, look, you can go tell them. Just don't use specific names of me or the other people. And it's very fatalist up there. They know there's a technological technocracy takeover. They know there's a plan to phase people out. They know it's a plan to ruin everybody's brains, and they just tell the top directors, you will do this or you're not going to have a job. They tell the writers that. So when you see skillful, screwed up, bizarre, suspended disbelief, none of it makes sense. It's all just juxtaposed, helter-skelter, oxymoronic, but still all glitzy and shiny with emotional memes of like, we are strong together, or it'll just cut to some thematic music and some woman's hair blowing for a minute and, you know, some male archetype model standing strong. And then you're given that 10 seconds of wholesomeness, and then it goes right back into the mental illness. And he was just describing how it's the triumph of the murder of beauty and the murder of intelligence and the murder of complexity, because they don't want the public thinking like that. And, of course, I was going to say later that I was going to get into this. I kind of just did. I never really plant hooks and then, you know, later get to it. I just keep moving through all the incredible information. But later in the third hour, I need to write some notes off what he said. I meant to do it last night when I got home, but I was so tired. But it just gave me a headache, actually, at the same time, because I already know all this, but to hear it from him and to confirm it all and just to have him spill his guts about it was amazing. It was truly amazing. You go see grown men at, like, the new Avengers movie. I went and saw that a year ago, and it was so bad, it was perfect. It was bad on purpose. These are really good writers, really good directors who just go, you want it to be horrible and dumbed down? You bet I'll make it the most horrible, stupid thing ever. And they actually go in and make jokes about what they're doing, and they all just like vomit on each other, basically. I mean, it's they're not even into it. It's like all just sick and horrible and evil. But they do it because they want to be part of this great evil. And so that's what something like Star Wars is. And it's such a spectacle under peer pressure that everybody goes and then just goes, I was there, it doesn't matter. And then you just partake in the bad acting and none of it making sense and all of it being stupid and all of it being emptiness as a vehicle to sell coffee creamers and toys and towels and clothing. And it becomes your culture, emptiness and fake and devoid of anything real. And that's only at this phase. You see, when Melissa Harris Perry gets up there and says Darth Vader is racist because he's black, and then she acts all emotional and says, it hurts me, that's to hurt her viewers, so they get upset and hurt when they see Darth Vader. So they're in a mentally ill prison of, racist, everyone's out to get me. Total chip on the shoulder world. And so if you watch her, everything is attached to it. No one else is allowed to work hard. That puts down black slaves. You can't say a father was good because that takes away from women. See, no one can achieve in this. No one can be successful except the anointed priesthood. They're allowed to talk. They're allowed to tell you which words to use. And you look at it and you realize these people study this scientifically and sit there with a playbook trying to make all of their language weaponized to create an artificial reality to absolutely devastate the minds of the poor drooling victims that watch it. They are creating mass mental illness by design. And then even parts of the left see it, like in that Atlantic Monthly article last month, admitting the coddling of America and saying that adults now are like gibbering mentally ill children, afraid of everything. That's the point. It's meant to make you afraid of knowledge, afraid of culture, afraid of literature, where you can't read anything without getting upset. And you walk into your college campus and you go, it's called Lynch Hall. They want to lynch me. And the Attorney General says, yes, we'll look into Lynch Hall, even though she's named Lynch, see? But, oh, she's black. She can be called Lynch. No, I mean, this is just scientific, folks. And then you talk to somebody in Hollywood who I've known for years, and they go, oh, yeah, now it's just unspoken now. It's just official. This is what you do if you want to make hundreds of millions of dollars and have your movies produced and put out, is you just wreck everything and create the ugliest, stupidest, shallowest hype vehicle you can. And he says, and they laugh. They go, it doesn't matter. Once we got your ticket, we already got you. And then you don't want to admit you got conned, so you say you love it.
Winter has just begun, and are you already tired of being cold? How would you like to never be cold again? This is Dale with Fortress Clothing, and I'm here to tell you, you will never be cold again with Fortress. If you're tired of freezing your butt off, elk hunting, sitting in a tree stand, deer hunting, winter camping, fishing, ice fishing, no longer fear the cold. If you snowmobile, ski, snowboard, get Fortress. Sledding with the kids, shoveling the walks, shopping, or if you or your spouse get cold feet at home, get Fortress. If you're stuck outside working in the cold or find yourself in an emergency situation, get our winter bug-out bag and you will never be cold again. Fortress is the answer, so quit complaining and go to fortressclothing.com. It's a mid-layer garment that goes with anything you want to wear. Enter coupon code RADIO and get 20% off any item. Go now while we still have inventory. fortressclothing.com.
If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the U.S. or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without a Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Did you know that home break-ins increase more than 100% during the holidays? It takes just 10 seconds for an intruder to kick in your door. But police response to a home alarm system is more than 20 minutes. And intruders are in and out of your home in 5 minutes. Thieves know that you're not home and have presents inside just waiting to be taken. And if you are home, how safe will you feel with an intruder lurking inside with your family? That's why police across the country are recommending you use Door Armor. Proven to withstand the force of a battering ram, Door Armor keeps intruders out. It's easy to install and barely visible, and your Door Armor is guaranteed for life. Go to InvasionStopper.com for a very special buy one, get one at half-off deal. These savings are for a limited time and only available to GCN listeners. Protect your valuables and loved ones this holiday season. Go to InvasionStopper.com now. That's InvasionStopper.com.
A revolution in body protection has arrived only at FortressSurvivalLLC.com. Introducing the revolutionary patented Level 3 Bulletproof Vest. 100% Kevlar, 100% American-made. Concealable, fully adjustable, and the lowest price on the market. Adult size normally $289.99, now just $250. Kid size normally $239.99, now just $200. Get affordable protection with a Level 3A Bulletproof Vest from FortressSurvivalLLC.com. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Alex Jones Show. I'm not going to get back into the whole Hollywood situation for a while, but when they say, hey, it doesn't matter, you want to come to an event, you want to come to something that's hyped up, you want to be part of the fraud. And they've engineered millennials, this is what I was hearing directly, again, from folks inside the system, to want to be conned and to not want to enjoy a movie, but to enjoy the spectacle of being part of it and then talking to others about it in the false culture. So we've replaced rugged individualism, liberty, freedom, inventiveness, high IQs, health, trailblazing energy, outdoors activities with Jay-Z, Kanye West, Star Wars, the NFL, things like this that are totally empty. And I've got probably 7 or 8 articles in the stack today where Harvard hands out manuals and puts signs up saying, don't use these words. This is how you are to speak. And they even get down to, don't have Halloween parties. And you're like, oh, it's to be sensitive. No, it's to have a culture of total oppression about what you say and do. The opposite of what a university is. The opposite of Renaissance. and universities founded in the last 500 years in Europe, in the last 350 here in North America. They are killing culture, open culture right now. They are killing liberalism. And it's, quote, liberals with their hijabs and their little outfits up there on MSNBC every day telling you what reality is as they slaughter freedom right in front of you. I mean, it's so sick. And I've got this new article. Ohio college students offended by culturally appropriated food at dining halls. Now, this is where the mental illness goes into the stratosphere. Washington Times. Students at liberal Ohio colleges are voicing outrage over fried chicken, sushi, General Tso's chicken, Vietnamese sandwiches served in the school cafeteria, saying the cheap knockoff dishes are insensitive and culturally inappropriate. So it's okay for the federal government to feed people prison-level food to our young children in big scams, full of GMOs, full of additives. As long as it's low-calorie, it's supposedly okay. But then these colleges try to have, you know, pizza and Italian food one day, Asian cuisine another, seafood another. That's just how you have good variety. That's what you want at a good college. But see, they don't know how to learn or how to read or write or how to get jobs or how to be charming or how to save money or how to start a business. They learn how to see phantoms, phantom menaces everywhere, and that's how you're creative. Lynch Hall. I think that was in Ohio, too. Oh, my gosh, Chinese food. How horrible. Because, you know, when you go eat Chinese food, it's racist. I told you the story when I was at Barton Springs about 2 years ago with my kids, and we're all laying out in the sun, been swimming in the big natural pool, and I see two Hispanics and a white guy, college student age. They're going, man, I'm so stoned. Yeah, it was really fun. They look all been smoking weed or something. They're jumping up and down the water, and they go, man, I'm hungry. I want some Chinese food. That was one of the Mexicans, one of the Hispanics. And the white guy and the other Hispanic go, oh, don't say that, it's racist. And they actually meant it and got all scared. They have no language. They have no culture. Guaranteed they were modern, you know, Marvel comic fans. I'm not knocking Marvel comic fans. I'm just saying it's that archetype. You go to these movies, you take your kids to it, there's like grown men, sometimes look like 6'4", like they could, you know, kill you with their one hit. They're like going, oh, awesome. Oh, Iron Man. Oh, and it's so cheesy, so stupid, so unrealistic, so unmale, so fraudulent. If this is their manhood, is some fantasy land. And so, talk about a prison. It's in the news all the time where people will say, hey, I'd like a Negro Modelo. People, well, you got a problem calling me the N-word? No, man, that just means black in Spanish. I'm just getting a beer. But so they're talking about even on menus changing stuff like that because actually in Europe they are. Because it's just incentive. I mean, there's lots of birds named Negro in Europe. That just means blackbird. And all over Europe, they're changing the names of birds that have the word Negro in it. That's Latin, folks. It goes back to the Romans, which means black. They're changing it. It's a triumph of ignorance. It's the end of the population. This is what Orwell talked about, getting it to a point with a dumbed-down population where the words have all been reduced down to nothing, and it's a crime to use certain words to where no one can even communicate. And so in just a few years, a college graduate hearing this show won't understand it or will be in so much pain hearing the words because all they're designed to do is scan for thought crime that they will become physically ill and run away, you know, gibbering. That basically already happens. But isn't that fitting? Because just like you go buy a Star Wars ticket and it doesn't matter if it's horribly done, you're going to believe it was good because you just spent $10 for the ticket. They already got your money. You've been conned. You're in the Nigerian scam now. You're not going to admit you got conned for $5 grand. You'll go in 20 grand before you finally wake up. Or maybe never. Just like the college bubbles. Close to 90% of people will never get their money back with a college degree. And it's getting worse. But it doesn't matter. They're already in the scam. Their arm's already in the wood chipper. They're going to go in head first, feed their family, everybody into it, because they can't admit they got chumped.
The Syrian refugee admitted his main goal is not to escape war or ISIS persecution, but to convert Europeans to Islam. He said, quote, my main goal for leaving Syria is to lead the people to the acceptance of Islam. I swear by Allah that I only came here for this one goal. I have observed that they are curious and willing to get to know Islam through us. And he's not the only one. Influential Shia recently gave a speech in which he encouraged radical Muslims to use the migrant crisis to, quote, breed with Europeans and conquer their countries. But this modern-day Islamic conquest is not just is happening only in Europe. Here in the U.S., radical Muslims are building their own Islamic compounds and communities while telling Christians and other non-Muslims to keep out. And these communities are rapidly expanding. In fact, the Obama administration has admitted nearly 400 Syrian refugees into the U.S. since the November 13th Paris attacks, and only one of them is a Christian. But Christians comprise about 10% of the population in Syria. So why isn't the Obama administration allowing more Christian refugees into the U.S.? I'll let you decide. This is Kit Daniels with Infowars.com.
Soon Christmas would have come and gone, and with it, 2015. Now is the time to give the gift of amazing health this Christmas and New Year's season. Many of you have experienced or you've heard about the amazing benefits from the exclusive formulations available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now is your chance to share them with those you love and take advantage of free shipping and unprecedented specials. You will find the InfoWars Life Essentials Pack with X2 Super Male and Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver for 33% off on top of free shipping. You'll also find other specials like the Deep Cleanse Pack with Deep Cleanse, Oxy Powder, and Living Defense for 28% off and again free shipping. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. Read the 5-star reviews. See the informational videos. Add your friends and family members' addresses on checkout and we'll ship their gifts free directly to them. We're talking about game-changing gifts, and they're all available with free shipping and massive discounts this Christmas season. InfoWarsLife.com. Over the years, there have been a lot of powerful advancements in the field of science and nutraceuticals. Longevity integrates years of scientific research into creating fantastic products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, plant-derived minerals, and much more. Longevity also offers you an ingenious way to augment your income. And the best part, you'll be helping your friends and family along the way. Visit InfoWarsTeam.com today. Become a member, get discounts on the amazing products, and free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip. And you're able to promote the products to friends and family and neighbors in your community and make money while helping people at the same time. Another win-win. That's why I'm a member of the Longevity team at InfoWarsTeam.com, and you can be too. It's simple. Just go to InfoWarsTeam.com today. Complete a short sign-up and you're part of the team. That's InfoWarsTeam.com or InfoWarsHealth.com. So many people call into my radio show and tell me how Longevity and the products at InfoWarsTeam.com have changed their lives. Check it out for yourself today.
Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central. Then back weeknights, 7 o'clock Central. InfoWars Nightly News. All right, let me get into all the serious news now. And then I'm going to play a clip from a little comedy piece we did that actually exposes the plot of Star Wars at the end, the new Star Wars movie. Group leaks new Star Wars movie secrets. And it's on the right-hand side of Infowars.com at the bottom. And, again, we shot this at 10 in the morning. It was done shooting. We started shooting at 9:30. We're done at 10. We came here, and then in 4 hours, they had it edited and put out. Nobody can turn something around like this fast. I mean, this is South Park quality ridiculousness, but we did it in a couple hours. So great job, Rob Dew and Josh Owens and, of course, Michael Zimmerman and the others, Darren McBreen. They all just pooled in on it and put it together. It's pretty funny, but it doesn't translate too well on radio. So I'm just going to play the part that does, but this is what we do. We go in and we hijack empty, soulless, rotten, festering enemy torpedoes that are the new Star Wars system that has murdered Star Wars. Star Wars, in my view, is dead completely and empty. And they just fill all of their soul-eating tripe into it. So group leaks new Star Wars movie secrets. That video's up on Infowars.com. You might want to send it to the Star Wars heads in your area. But we will play a few minutes of that coming up after I get to the serious news. Then we're going to go to break, and I'm just going to do it in that little 6-minute segment at the end of the hour. The federal government itself is now coming out on basically a weekly basis and admitting that they're geoengineering people because we have exposed them, you have exposed them. They're now preparing to bring this main line and admit that they are spraying barium salts, aluminum dioxide, and radioactive isotopes as well on the population. So they're now admitting it. It's in the Smithsonian.gov. It is the Department of Energy. It's all being announced. And, of course, they're saying it's not ice condensation crystals. It's not ice condensation crystals, and we never said it was. And there's real condensation trails out there. It's what's been added to the jet fuel. Oh, impurities in the jet fuel are creating nuclei and changing our atmosphere and making the Earth up to 30% darker. Oh, where's all the apologies from the people? From CNN to MSNBC to you name it, on every channel you can imagine, making fun of us for chemtrails. I mean, it's been public, the high-altitude aerosol geoengineering programs since the early 1990s. They just don't call it chemtrails. Again, it's like people go, where's the FEMA camp? It isn't called FEMA camp. No, this Army base is just designated an emergency centers establishment system for political dissidents. Here's the Army.mil document. I mean, just type in, Army admits re-education camps. They use the word re-education camps. But see, people were calling it FEMA camps. Oh, there's nobody here by that name. It's how they play lawyer games with everybody. And now the Smithsonian comes out and goes, oh, airplane exhaust is causing geoengineering, lingering clouds and cloud banks that are changing the atmosphere. Exactly what we said in 1996. Exactly. I started making a film about condensation trails and chemtrails and what was really going on. It was titled Dark Skies before they even had a movie called that. And there was so much evidence that I got bogged down in the hundreds of patents and admissions and air bases and Department of Energy and all their own videos of them with the chemtrail sprayers. Because they've got special planes that do intense chemtrailing that then they've got it added to the jet fuel of general aviation and also commercial aviation where it just distributes it. But some third world countries don't take part in it. That's how you'll see a big jet at the same level as another jet, 33,000 feet, putting nothing out, and right by it just stuff's dumping out of an American Airlines plane because, there's a whole bunch of countries that participate. And then it's added at the jet fuel production refineries. And if you look, there's only 4 or 5 companies in North America that are refining jet fuel on a mass scale. And all you got to do is have them be part of the industrial infraguard program, and baby, you give them a tax exemption to mix it this way, and it's classified, and they do it. And we've got all the documents on that. Can you imagine what else is going on when they're jacking with the atmosphere and won't tell us what they're doing? Can you imagine what's piggybacked and what's Trojan horsed into all the GMO and the vaccines? I mean, just what we know is enough to devastate human life on this planet forever. I mean, just type in chemtrails from space and just look at the world. Or look at the BBC a decade ago. Earth 20% darker. Now it's 30% darker. Oh, but nothing's going on. There's no world government. There's nothing secret. Everything's fine. Yeah, they feed Roundup-ready soybeans to guinea pigs, and the first generation dies at about half the age they should. The next generation, about 60, 70% are infertile and have tumors all over their bodies, but it's not to the third generation. You get almost 99% infertility, and almost every guinea pig is horribly deformed with their testicles on top of their heads. I told Howard Stern that, and he laughed about it. It's funny, I know. Until your kids get it. And then it's time to die. It's all a covert program. And yeah, I've gone kind of crazy knowing about it every day, having to live with it, watch everybody else just go about their business. And then I'll be at some event or out having a good time, and all of a sudden I feel guilty. I'll be out having a good time laughing with buddies or, doing a podcast or something. I went over to On It, Joe Rogan's outfit, Aubrey Marcus's outfit finally this week. I had a great time. I was sitting there Saturday night having a great time. It just hit me. I went, wait a minute, we're under attack. I've got to see. And I know it's unnatural for me to just be up here yelling and screaming, they're murdering us all the time, and then nothing's happening. Nothing's being done. In an ancient civilization, people go check into what I was saying, believe it, and stop it. But because everybody just thinks, Transformers are real and the X-Men is the real world, then I can't reach them. They're gone. They're busy battling windmills like Don Quixote. How dare you feed me Chinese food on the menu? That's racist. You've stolen Asian culture. And it's the white kid saying it, of course. And I'm like, hey, you know, they put cancer viruses in almost all the major vaccines. Here's some documents. Shut up, you racist. Okay, they're spraying aluminum on us. The trees and plants are dying. The plankton's dying. It's real dangerous. Shut up, racist. Listen, they're aborting half the black people. It's a plan, and they're going to phase it into all groups. We need to really work together. Shut up, white devil. Ooh. All these people are now telling me, did you know episode 3 is about 9/11 and false flags? Really? Thank you for telling me that. I thought I broke that 10 years ago. Why is it no one listens to me when I'm saying it, when it's breaking, when it's happening? Instead, all they do is misappropriate what I've said. Straw man. We didn't have a moon landing. Never said that. Giant wasp live under the UN building. Never said that. And that was in over. People go, well, you said it was 500. No, it's over 1,000 now. As of last Monday, it was 500. Over 1,000 articles last week alone saying that I believe that aliens run the planet, that there are giant wasps under the UN building, and that Obama sends tornadoes to kill people. Never said any of that. A lady said, do you think the big tornado that hit Oklahoma City a few years ago was weather weapons? And I said, no, they usually do it in big general fronts to like keep water out of areas or change atmospheres. They don't tend to send tornadoes themselves, though they admit they can go into weather systems and create tornadoes. That turns into Obama sent the tornado. And again, I know I keep repeating that because when there's 1,000 articles plus saying that, I've got to counter it. But I've had 4 or 5 people the last week that I know on the street or in person say, yeah, I saw that in the paper. Shane Steiner saw it in the local Austin American-Statesman. He goes, but I know you don't say that. I've heard your show. But see, they know, you as listeners know they're lying. They're targeting new people, inoculating them in their own terms, psychologically inoculating them, conditioning them, preconditioning them to not listen when they hear me explain what's been added to the vaccines or the geoengineering is going on, because they know I've got their plan. I know who they are. I know their master program because they're so arrogant and have written about it. And if people listen to me, it's game over for the New World Order. But you've got to decide that you want to do something about this. You've got to decide that you care about your family. You've got to decide you don't want to just be overwritten. I mean, maybe you're so lazy and so mesmerized by TV and got so much, food and all these base level things you need. They've done that on purpose that you don't realize you're being absolutely slow murdered. Those that the gods would destroy, they would first make mad. Well, the globalists are playing the part of God. That's who they want to be. That's who they're trying to be. And so those they would destroy, they would first make mad. And you look at everything they're doing to us and our culture, it's to make us insane and mentally ill so we don't stand up for ourselves. You'd have to be crazy living in a freakish society like this to go along with it. So they're going to make you crazy and dumb and stupid. I'll be honest with you, 10 years ago, I never thought it'd be the warrior class that would listen to me. I would bash the military. I would bash the police all day because I knew they worked for the globalists that had taken over. I would think I've got to warn the general proletariat, to use their words, so that we don't go along with this takeover. But I didn't realize that for all the faults of the people that enter the warrior class, they don't want to be slaves. They don't want to be conquered. They don't want to be driven into slavery. They don't, no. They want to do the hanging. And it's that class now that's totally tuned to this show. See, I never expected those type of angles. And the globalists have a big problem because of that. But I want to tell the general public something right now. You better wake up too and get involved and get your butts in gear because you are being attacked. You are being destroyed. Let's go to this next clip. Mika Brzezinski, who dates the former Republican congressman who had a dead intern found on him. Again, when you watch these shows, you need to know the background. Her father wrote a book bragging that he set up the Khmer Rouge, who killed 35% of Cambodia's population, roughly. And he wrote in there that he's very proud of the fact that he didn't kill the people. He set someone else to do it so that he is politically protected. He brags about the English he puts on a ball when he knocks 4 or 5 balls that he calls into the corner pockets. Oh, I didn't kill all those Cambodians. I hit another ball that hit another ball that knocked him in, but I didn't touch the ball with the wrong ball.
And he writes a book. You can go read his quotes. Oh, real cutesy. So see, when you sit there with a platinum blonde with her disgraced congressman totally blackmailed and controlled, she just Matt, look at things through my eyes, see? Look at things through knowledge and background. Then you see two enemy officers in front of you, preying on America, preying on your family. And that's only one dimension of it. I could go into more. The two are lovers in their hatred for humanity. Scarborough talks about how he admires and learns so much from her father, one of the most evil men alive today, who has a public plan in the grand chessboard to engineer thermonuclear war with Russia. How's that sound? Oh, Darth Vader's scary? The new monsters in the Star Wars are scary? How about the people that write books bragging about killing millions of innocent men, women, and children and brag about it? You think they might be a little dangerous? You think they might need to be met? Oh, no. Who wants to actually fight with real monsters? Let's pretend we fight with monsters in our minds because we're little boys. And then you can see through her eyes as she tries to show off with the latest White House talking points that how dare Santorum, who's a neocon in his own right, so there's levels to this, how dare Rick Santorum be worried about radical Muslims being brought into the country? Why, we know the biggest killers are white men with guns. Really, go to the FBI crime statistics. Do you know the lowest level of any major, quote, racial group in crime with firearms? It's white males. That's a fact. Look it up. You know overall crime with guns, period, from black to Hispanic to Asian to white is down since 1992. 61%. It's not 50-something. It's 61 now. Mass shootings, the rarest form of shooting, are slightly up the last decade. Less than 100 people a year die in them. And it's a mix. It's crazy Muslims, it's crazy white guys, crazy black guys, you name it. With the media hyping it, I'm surprised there's not more. It's like the new pastime. Instead of suicide by cop, just go shoot up a school or some other victim disarmament zone. And she gets up here and just keeps repeating, like, don't you see how you're discredited? Don't you see? You're usually smart. It's the white men. It's the white men. All lies. Like Hillary saying, like Brian Williams, she was, in combat in Serbia. It's all lies. They're liars. And you realize it's the daughter of a mass murdering war criminal up there with a guy found with a dead intern. A strangled intern. I mean, I'm sure he didn't do it. I'm totally innocent, of course. Oh, my gosh. Here, let's just go ahead and go to these two little sweetie pies up there shoveling lies. Oh, the problem isn't radical jihadists. No, it's white people. This is how sick these freaks are. Here's the clip.
Well, why aren't you working on white men with guns? I mean, come on.
Come on. Pause and back it up. I mean, again, it's all body language like a kindergarten teacher. You ever watch a kindergarten teacher, how they talk to kindergartners or first graders? This is all the Delphi technique, dumbing us down to children. She goes, why aren't you talking about it? I mean, obviously, the sky is purple at high noon. I mean, unicorns are real. I mean, Obamacare is free, you racist. You didn't build your business. 2 + 2 = 5. Did you hear? 7 days a week at this college, they have different things. Sometimes it's chicken fried steak. Sometimes it's sushi. Sometimes it's fish and chips. I mean, it's so racist. You're appropriating culture? Oh, my gosh, Alex, you're wearing cowboy boots. Those come from Mexico. You're wearing a belt buckle. What, are you against Mexicans? You're like, well, no, I actually liked it. Shut up. Skip the network break. I got to cover this. This is how demonic and evil these people are. Every word crafted to hurt you and your family. They're preying on you. They are your enemy. Break the enemy's conditioning, folks. They're your enemy. They're your enemy. They're going to stage false flags and blame us, folks. They're going to blame you. They're going to take everything you got. They hate the fact the founders laid down the Second Amendment as a checkmate against them. They were so ready. Oh, God bless George Washington. Thank you, God, for people like that. They're the only ones from 240 years ago as the force field holding back some of this right now. But it's weakening, it's falling, folks, and all hell's going to break loose. Thank God what they built for us. That's why the enemy hates them so much, because they're fighting their spirit today. Just go back to this enemy. I just cannot watch the daughter of a mass murdering war criminal who wants World War III on top of it, involved in the overthrow of Ukraine and every other evil you can imagine, with her evil, evil, evil co-host. Evil. Just preying on people and showing total anti-white racism. Here it is.
Well, why aren't you working on white men with guns? I mean, come on, Rick Santorum, you know better. You're a smart guy. You're telling Muslim Americans they all need to come out and talk about the tiny percentage of their community that has kind of, quite frankly, wreaked havoc. But yet, you look at the data of white men with guns wreaking havoc on this country.
Back it up again. Let's play it again. White men, everything is scientifically trained. White men, all her body language. What? White men. Like she has a passion of like a huntress with battle axes to hack up her enemy. She's white men. White men. The type that strangle people? Those type? Here, oh, you love it, don't you? The huntress, to savage the enemy Americans, to hold them down, to tie them down. And she's a Lillipully with another rope over us. Help me tie them down. Help me hold them. No, we're breaking loose, whore. You're a prostitute of the New World Order, selling out the American people. Now let's go back to her. Here she is.
Well, why aren't you working on white men with guns? I mean, come on, Rick Santorum, you know better. You're a smart guy. You're telling Muslim Americans...
Let's hear it again, to the very start. You know enough, you're a smart guy. Everything is a literal CIA psych warfare technique. One after the other. She just bam, 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 like a video game, hitting the button she was taught to hit. But she's actually scared. She knows she has no ratings. She knows she's a nobody. She's scared of the evil in her family. She can feel the darkness pulling at her. So she wants to be more evil, friends with the devil. Maybe he'll be nice to her. Oh, he's going to be nice to you, you old hag. Your soul is so ugly. I've seen 98-year-old women more beautiful than you, and not because they're physically beautiful. You're an ugly hag. Ice cold, Ice Queen. You feel the fire of liberty? It will burn your fraud to the ground. You think your devil's got power? The devil only tries to imitate aspects of God. You are weak. You will be broken. Now let's go back to the monster. I'm not going to interrupt her this time. Here she is.
Well, why aren't you working on white men with guns? I mean, come on, Rick Santorum, you know better. You're a smart guy. You're telling Muslim Americans they all need to come out and talk about the tiny percentage of their community that has kind of, quite frankly, wreaked havoc. But yet, you look at the data of white men with guns wreaking havoc on this country. Why aren't white men all coming forward? Why don't you call on them to do that?
I actually am doing a lot of things. I'm doing a lot of things about trying to solve gun violence, and that primarily focuses on the family. Yeah, I mean, if you look against
people on the terror watch list, not being able to buy a gun.
If you look at the folks who are causing crime in America, almost every single one of them, and I think Chuck Colson pointed this out, that 85 to 90% of men in prison grew up without a father in the home. So you want to get at the real root problem here. You've got a breakdown of society, basically based upon the breakdown of the family. To point to an inanimate object is
Santorum is pointing to black crime rates being astronomical in areas where the family's been broken up. He didn't say black people. That's the only way his argument has any semblance of reality. No, the overall crime rate's way down because of gun ownership going up and because of better policing techniques. Okay? And everybody knows that. In fact, guys, can you roll the feed with Justice Department numbers on the crime rate plunging? I know we have that in the file in there for TV viewers. But just type in gun crime plunges, but perception is it's up. You'll get LA Times, Washington Post, even they admit it. But Santorum goes along with it and goes, well, the crime rate's up because of fatherless families. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. It is not. I'm showing FBI.gov statistics. It's just absolute flaming baloney. And folks, people need to meet the Brzezinskis with anger. They need to meet all of these enemies of humanity point blank. Because these people have never had to have consequences for the way they behave, the way they act, the type of evil they pull. Really evil, powerful people in history were pretty controlled about what they said and did because they understood how weak they really were, even if they thought they were in a position of strength. Any given day, they could roll those dice and come up snake eyes. I've raised my rhetoric to the level of their outrageousness to get people out of comas. But what I say and what I break down is accurate. There it is. Gun crime has plunged. Americans think it's up. Study, LA Times. Again, but there they are, just going along with, yeah, well, crime's up because the fathers. What? What? It's just none of it's true. It's just bathing in ignorance. But they're not bathing in ignorance. More Americans view letting more people carrying concealed handguns as better solution to terrorism than stricter gun control. New big poll out. That's from Gallup. The truth is we're winning. They're angry. And they have built admitted giant emergency center establishment systems and civilian inmate labor camp programs to prime them with prisoners. And it's all admitted. You can read the Army manual on civil internment program for the United States. It's about 30-something pages long. You can all read about how they'll process you with your Social Security numbers. In fact, can we pull up the internment camp document just for new TV viewers and listeners? I'll just give you the U.S. Army document number if you want to go read it at army.mil for yourself. Oh, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Oh, sorry. By the way, I didn't get to the geoengineering. I'll do it next hour after Ventura leaves us. Oh, yeah, Smithsonian, Associated Press, Popular Science, all just got the green light to come out and break the big news. They'll probably get Pulitzer Prizes. That there's something in the jet fuel causing geoengineering and persistent jet trails. Oh, those of us that made films about it and talked forever, we won't get lauded and carried on shoulders? No, we'll get lied about. FM 3-39.40, internment resettlement operations, 2010, leaked in 2012, declassified in 2013. I'm afraid it got leaked to us. Kind of like how Hillary was using the State Department import-export system to ship weapons. Oh, that broke here and now 3 years ago and broke this year. I'm not bragging. I just want everybody to know. You want to talk about Star Wars? Our X-Wing attack force blows up Death Stars on a weekly basis. And we love getting shot at and we love getting blown up. We don't care. I'm afraid we're committed. And I'm afraid we're not going to stop. We're crazed. We're 1776. And we're bringing the fire of liberty, and nothing on this earth's going to stop it. Soon Christmas would have come and gone, and with it, 2015. Now is the time to give the gift of amazing health this Christmas and New Year's season. Many of you have experienced or you've heard about the amazing benefits from the exclusive formulations available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now is your chance to share them with those you love and take advantage of free shipping and unprecedented specials. You will find the InfoWars Life Essentials Pack with X2 Super Male and Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver for 33% off on top of free shipping. You'll also find other specials like the Deep Cleanse Pack with Deep Cleanse, Oxy Powder, and Living Defense for 28% off and again free shipping. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. Read the 5-star reviews. See the informational videos. Add your friends and family members' addresses on checkout and we'll ship their gifts free directly to them. We're talking about game-changing gifts, and they're all available with free shipping and massive discounts this Christmas season. InfoWarsLife.com. Jesse Ventura is coming up. They just joined us. You saw the new talking point. Trump's behind Al-Qaeda, ISIS, not Hillary, who helped run the whole thing. White men are causing giant crime waves in America, need to be dealt with, not radical Islamicists. That's Brzezinski on the Morning Hangman or the Morning Joe or whatever you call that show. And then I saw this last week because I saw an article about demonstrations in Austin for mock shootings. And I said, Jakari, are you going to go cover this? You usually cover the gun beat. And he goes, man, we just don't like how it's being put on, stuff like that. I don't want to go cover it. I said, yeah, you're right. Let's not cover it. You know, there's more gun stuff out there. The media is going to misconstrue this and spin it. And that's where we're getting emails, hey, you need to cover this. And I went, whoa, whoa, whoa. I go, this is going to be a setup. We're going to get blamed for this. And I'm not worried about getting blamed. It's good. I mean, they already say that I'm putting WASP under their, you know, that there's aliens underneath the UN building. And here's the Daily Beast article. Joe Biggs walked in during that 70-second break. And I said, wait, let me tell you. It'll say in the article that we ran it and that we had reporters there and that it's our event. And I opened it up, and sure enough, it says that when we were there covering the Dildos Not Guns protest, which shows how crazy the left is. And this is how they work. Look, I've had people get behind me and scream, kill Michelle Malkin, and in 2 hours, it's all over national TV that I said, kill a woman. This is what they do. So that's why
when we have to be careful when we get pushed to go cover something that we understand it could be something to walk us into something. But viewers understand this and people know it. And we're exposing these operations. But look at this. The Daily Beast, that's Newsweek's division. Conspiracy theorists terrorized our town. Oh, really? InfoWars, worst humans invade Texas to stage a mass shooting. We're the worst humans. We've been dehumanized. We're counter-protested, outnumbered 20-1. Oh, see, I didn't actually call for a demonstration that hundreds or thousands would have been at, like in San Antonio, at the Alamo. See, that was something I was part of with the land commissioner. No. You just say, guys, will you bring me the Donald Trump pinata? Because that's a straw man, too. It'd be like if I beat up the pinata of Donald Trump. I didn't really beat up Donald Trump. So, see, this is the new CIA run. You notice last year they admitted they legalized lying, legalized CIA, and other groups engaging in deception. This is the next phase where they'll just come out and say, Alex Jones says child molesters are good. Never said it. They'll just say, I said it. Or Alex Jones tried to terrorize the town. I think there was a mock mass shooting. We didn't do that. We weren't there. Leanne was there at the other protest. That's what we covered. But it doesn't matter. Because they can just beat up the straw man of Donald Trump or Alex Jones. Oh, my gosh. We just caught this Donald Trump trying to rob the office. Call the police. Oh, look, I could beat him up. Ha-ha, what a win. Oh, I'm so tough. Ha-ha, you see me just backslap Donald Trump? That's all they do. Straw man. Oh, Alex Jones had this big protest. Nobody showed up. They tried to terrorize Austin, but we stood up to him. Oh, what heroes you are. And again, we never even walked into your trap. But it doesn't matter. Your trap is good because now I can show people the bear trap and go, see, kids? See how it works? And I guess because I talk in a Texas accent, all you operatives and people that have come to town think I don't know everything you're doing. I mean, everything. And it's enjoyment. It gives me energy. It's fun. It's like a real-life video game. I mean, this is awesome. Yeah! Man, I'm getting attacked every millisecond. Whoa! We are over the target, baby. Thank you for the Christmas presents. And I had a meeting last week, and I said, this is going to be the attack profile. This is going to be the sucker job. Then they'll get the local activists upset that we won't come to any of their events. Then they'll turn them into wind-up toys against us. I mean, I got the whole thing down. And if I fall, I win. If I don't fall, I win. Win-win. And it just goes into how horrible I am and how I wanted people to be scared and I wanted to create panic and all this other stuff. Oh, did I crucify Christ? Did I blow up the Titanic? Did I murder the Easter Bunny?
Hillary Clinton wants to censor people who make fun of her. She was recently trying to censor comedy skits that poked fun at her, which were produced by the Laugh Factory in Los Angeles, California. The owner of the Laugh Factory, Jamie Masada, told Judicial Watch that her campaign threatened to put him out of business if he didn't pull the videos. So in response to this attack on free speech, Infowars.com has launched the Make Fun of Hillary Defend the First Amendment contest with a first-place cash prize of $5,000. We want the funniest, most outrageous satire and comedy videos guaranteed to make Hillary's blood boil. To enter, read the contest rules at Infowars.com/contest and then shoot a comedy or satire video making fun of Hillary Clinton. All entries must be uploaded to YouTube in a link emailed to hillarycontest@infowars.com. Enter your video before the contest deadline at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday, December 22nd, 2015. Once again, the contest rules and information can be found at Infowars.com/contest. This is Kit Daniels with Infowars.com. We look forward to your video making fun of Hillary Clinton.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market. Extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. A clean, toxic-free body is the foundation of true health. Deep Cleanse by InfoWarsLife.com. A scientifically formulated blend of nanocolloidal zeolites and organic ingredients that aid the body in cleansing chemicals and toxic metals. Using our proprietary multi-step extraction technology, Deep Cleanse is our most affordable all-in-one cleanser. With concentrated organic compounds like cilantro, milk thistle, fulvic acid, orange peel, zeolites, and others, Deep Cleanse doesn't hold back. Instead of buying 5, 6, or even 7 different cleansing products, we use decades-old scientific research to put together the Rolls-Royce of all-in-one cleansing. Look, there's a reason Deep Cleanse is the only product on the market that uses our proprietary Spigerex herbal processing technique. We use only the highest quality organic herbs backed by serious research, and we still bring it to you at the best price out there. If you wish to find Deep Cleanse and experience the all-in-one cleansing, visit InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. It is an incredible time to be alive. General Michael Flynn, multi-star general, former head of Defense Intelligence Agency. That's Pentagon Intelligence. One of the most important intelligence agencies of the 16. Went public and said we were ordered to create Al-Qaeda and ISIS and let them take over Syria. It was a conscious plan and we don't like it. We don't stand with it. And I told you at the time there is absolute war in the Pentagon between the State Department and a faction of the CIA on one side and factions of the CIA, Defense Intelligence, the U.S. Army on the other side. And I've been told this by, let's just say, active duty people. This is extremely dangerous. And we've talked about it hundreds of times here the last few years. You saw the military, including officers, holding up signs saying, I won't be Al-Qaeda's Air Force in Syria 2.5, 3 years ago. Rand Paul coming out saying we shouldn't be Al-Qaeda's Air Force. Many of the officers hold up the signs, Infowars.com. We had Tosh Plumlee retire as a CIA contractor to go public here and say from NATO and from military, confirming shipping high-impact tow missiles, Stinger missiles, and others directly to Syrian rebels via Turkey. And now, Volume 38, Number 1, January 7th, 2016, just came out this morning. It is a lengthy Cy Hirsch report, 14 pages long, that we will do a special report on the news about tonight and more in the third hour. It is unbelievable. This is a 2-time Pulitzer Prize winner. This is a man given CIA clearance to investigate. He is a listener. He's emailed back and forth with us, but never comes on the show. Now is the time. He has confirmed everything in triplicate, that there is a war between senior staff and different agencies. And I don't want to say the Navy and the Army, but because the whole Navy's not bad, but the Navy has been siding basically with the globalist more than the Army. Because there is a cult of George Washington in the Army, and it's really hard to break it because they've done a lot of corrupt, bad stuff, but this is coming down to killing the country right now. And I know Jesse Ventura is a Navy man. I'm not bashing the Navy. We're going to go to him with big breaking news from his trip to Russia. But that is now all in here, that they're funding Al-Qaeda, Al-Nusra, ISIS in Turkey, sending them in with weapons. Then the other group of generals actually is in contact with Assad. This is in the New Yorker magazine, folks. Cy Hirsch, not Alex Jones now. Of course, we told you 3 years ago. But this is confirmed. They then directly give Assad the intel on how to beat him. And that's why Colonel Schaefer came on a few months ago and said, we are now working with the Russians openly. We are going to destroy ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And I said, and that was from congressional secret meetings he was at. He put out the info here. He's authorized to do that. You understand? Authorized by the government to come on my show and tell you that. There is a full-on war close to Operation Valkyrie going on right now, where our own government doesn't want to be part of this. That is sections of this incredible evil. And when the Navy SEALs didn't go along with the fake Bin Laden story, they just blew up their helicopter, didn't they? And I've talked to some of those families and people in person. They've been on the show years after I told you I met with them in person. Other families. But do you understand, folks, there is a full-on war right now for this country, and it's dangerous. Now, Jesse Ventura went to Russia to be part of a big press event. He was at an event Putin was at, had a chance to talk to him briefly, very interesting. But the big thing, Jesse, I haven't heard him this excited in a while, was about the parallels between how Russia is changing and how America is changing. And I asked him to tell me more, and he said, well, you know, when I'm coming on the show, I'll just tell you then. That was last Friday, so he joins us now. He's got Off the Grid TV show. It's very popular and aired on different TV networks and things around the world, not just here in the United States. The story's up on Infowars.com. President Vladimir Putin personally thanked Jesse Ventura during Moscow visit. And I literally, during the 3-minute break, was given this article and scanned over it. Richard had already read it and was getting ready to highlight it for me, but I checked the parts he talked about. I already knew all this, but here's Cy Hirsch admitting open war going on in the government. What do you think when they have top generals coming out saying this and top analysts saying we've been ordered to protect Al-Qaeda and ISIS? And yes, who'd you hear talk about this 3 years ago? Jesse Ventura. Myself and others. We've known what's going on, but now it's so out in the open. It's so dangerous it makes my head spin. And yes, you've got neocons and you've got the Obama people on one side, and then you've got the rest of the military and more libertarian conservatives on the other. Now, joining us is Jesse Ventura for the balance of the hour. Governor, thank you so much for coming on. I just broke all this here on air. Cy Hirsch just broke it this morning. We've discussed this over and over again. When you were on just a few months ago, we discussed this exact topic, so it's not breaking for us. But how incredible is this to have the most respected reporter in the world, in my view, I don't think that's disputed, Seymour Hersh, coming out and confirming in a 14-page report this incredible information. It's military to military. Seymour Hersh on U.S. intelligence sharing in the Syrian war. Headline should be civil war inside the federal government over backing of Al-Qaeda. Jesse Ventura.
Well, first of all, Alex, that's stunning news. It's news to me. I knew nothing about it. I was working out this morning, and that's the first I've heard of it. It's not surprising. I will tell you this. Do you want to know why the Navy gets their pick? Because we've beaten Army 14 years in a row. So that's how they determine who's on top, whoever wins the Army-Navy game. And Navy's won 14 years in a row, so that's how come Navy gets priority. Anyway, humor aside, the situation you got now is because it all goes back to why are we there in the first place? When you truly look at it. You know, Alex, you and I have beefed over immigration and all that stuff, but here's where I stand now. I stand for this, and I stand with Major General Smedley Butler, the Marine who won 2 Congressional Medals of Honor. Our military shouldn't go over 500 miles from our own shore, so let's bring them home. Let's secure our borders with the U.S. military, both southern and northern borders, because we don't want to discriminate. And let's end all immigration to the United States, take down the Statue of Liberty, say it doesn't apply anymore, because if you end just immigration to certain people, then you're discriminating. You either have, in the words of immigration, it has to be all or none.
No, I get there's two sides to it, and I want to get into that later, because there's so much happening currently, but undoubtedly, how do you bring in people from Syria, a lot of them that invaded, not even vet them, and then let them attack? I mean, obviously, citizens get screened coming in. You get screened. I mean, a lot of these immigrants don't even get screened is the issue, Jesse, is the unfairness.
Well, the unfairness is, too, it's not the immigrants. If you look at if you look at the France attack, those were Belgian citizens. Those weren't immigration. Those weren't people. They weren't refugees.
Some of them were out of Greece, but you're right, somewhere in Europe. But let's expand on this before we get off on immigration. How big a deal is that it's, I mean, you were in some big panels with former CIA people, you name it. You're here to talk about your amazing experience in Russia. But we know the West has been funding and Turkey's been funding and buying the oil. That's all come out. Our own military is saying they don't want to go along with this. I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Alex, this is all part of the culture of America today. We are a war culture. We must. Why do you think they tried to trump up the Cold War with the Russians again? Because we have to be at war all the time to support the military-industrial complex and all the money makers. You got to remember something. Anytime you go to war, there are war profiteers. There are people that make huge money off the war. No war is away from that. World War II, Korea, Vietnam, you name the war, and there are war profiteers, people who profit from those wars. So it's in their best interest to stay at war. It's in the best interest, they believe, of the United States to have a common enemy so that we're at war all the time. And when they couldn't find one, they came in with the war on drugs, which has proved to be a war against their very own citizens.
You're absolutely right.
Of the United States of America.
Well, let's start getting into Russia, because that's really the reason we're here. It's so important, and it ties into this. I mean, the very same people trying to overthrow Syria are trying to overthrow Ukraine, and then spending it that Russia did all this when George Soros and Brzezinski and others admit the State Department spent $5 billion engineering the overthrow of the elected government. That segues to your trip to Russia that was very interesting.
Yeah, no, I got to go. They carry Off the Grid is carried by RT America, Russian Television America, on Friday nights, and they won't have me on RTV, so isn't it ironic that a former governor has to go get his show on Russian television?
Well, so does Larry King.
Yeah, so does Larry King. That's right. But no, RT's a tremendous station. I love the station. And they offered my wife and I, all expenses paid, to go to Moscow for their 10th anniversary. It was the 10th anniversary of Russian Television America. And I learned that President Putin was very instrumental in the creation of this television. It was there when he got there, but he really got behind it. And so there was rumor he would show up at the occasion that night, and sure enough, it was confirmed, and he did. And so it was remarkable to me to be honored, because they brought all the people who are on Russian television up on the stage, and to be honored. And I'm sitting there. It was like being in the Twilight Zone. I mean, here I am, a Vietnam veteran. I've lived through the entire Cold War. I've looked at these people with fear my whole life, because I've been brainwashed to do so. And I get over there and I find out, guess what? They're just like we are. They really and truly are the people. When I traveled there, I left here at night and traveled and got there at night. I'm driving to the hotel and I'm looking outside, and Minnesota is a very festive Christmas state when it comes to putting out lights and all the paraphernalia that goes along with the celebration of Christmas. Minnesota looked like pikers compared to Moscow. My wife and I had never seen so many decorations honoring and enjoying the festive holiday as we did driving at night in Moscow. I actually thought for a moment they took me up. They did circles up there for 10 to 12 hours and then landed me back in Minneapolis, because you know what the next thing I saw over there was?
No.
McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I truly thought, am I still in Minneapolis? But then, of course, it went on and we went to the thing and Putin was there. Putin got up and gave a speech that was outstanding, and I have to back him up on it. He said that they would never interfere with our opinions on the show. He would never interfere in any of our creativity of we, the talent, could bring to Russian Television America. And I have to tell you, I've been on there for 1 year now, and what he spoke was the truth, because they have never interfered one bit in anything I've talked about, any subject that I deem to give my opinion on.
I know I've not been censored. I know I've not been censored when I've come on your show, but that sounds so surreal that you take off in the middle of Winter Wonderland, you land back in the middle of Winter Wonderland, and you also talked about Putin coming over and talking to you. I want you to repeat that for folks. And then also talk about some of the other panels that you were part of, and your description of me that Russia's going in the right direction, it looks like, and we're going in the wrong direction. So.
Oh, you want me to go? I thought we were going to break. No,
I skipped it.
No. President Putin was sitting there, and after I was honored, when he got up to leave, he came up the aisle and he expressly came over to me, and we shook hands and looked eye to eye, and he quietly leaned into me and he just said very quietly, "Thank you, Governor," which I was astounded over. Because first of all, he gave me my title, which I rarely get anymore in the United States of America. You know, people don't refer to me as the governor anymore, but yet he did. And the big thing out of Putin was his speech to me. You know, the guy is a dynamic speaker. And then being around Russia, it appears to me that they are heading towards this newfound freedom that they've discovered since the communists have fallen. And they now refer to them as the communists. We were given a bus tour where we drove all over Moscow to go to RT, the studios, and it required about a 45-minute drive, and we had a person on board showing us all the buildings and this, that. I got to see the old building that the KGB operated out of, and then we actually went into the Kremlin. And it's remarkable to go into the Kremlin. The museum inside the Kremlin is unbelievable. And then the biggest thing I decided the last day I was going to be wild and woolly Jesse, so I wore my fringe jacket, I wore a do-rag, I had a pair of shades on, and I was looking like Jesse the Body. And I came walking, and there was a young couple, beautiful young couple, a boy and a girl, couldn't speak a word of English. But they came up to me so happy and so full of life, I couldn't believe it because they were astounded over my clothing, you know, of what I was wearing. And that's the feeling I got over there. When I left Moscow, to me it was, these people are no different than people in Minnesota. There is no difference. The only difference we have is how we're getting orchestrated into hating each other for 50 years for no frickin' reason.
Well, that's right. Longer than that, let me just say my point on this because it's a very important point, and I've studied this in depth. Social engineers, British royalty, the British Empire, basically, but also Wall Street, wanted to bring down the czars, and they had their own corruption, their own problems. It was feudal Russia. But in 1917, they funded the Bolsheviks out of the United States and England on record to take it down, bring it down. It was a color revolution, just like you see happening in Kiev and Ukraine right now, or in Syria. Rebels were sent in after World War I when Russia was weak at the end of it, who was our ally. We double-crossed them. I mean, this is our elites did. And we put the demons that are communist in there that killed tens of millions of people and then turned Russia into basically an enemy of free countries. And Russia did do some bad stuff, but it gave the United States the cover to do a lot of bad expansion in the name of stopping the domino theory. So that was the multi-leveled chess that the globalists were playing. Now Putin's kicked the oligarchs out, kicked the foreigners out. He's reversing the eugenics policies, reversing the communist programs, cutting taxes, and really following an Americana plan. The Russians love Levi's and what they see as Americana. They saw us as what they wanted to be. Solzhenitsyn saw that, but he saw that evil was here by the 90s. He left back and warned Russia, they're coming for you. And Putin went and met with him a lot and actually got woken up by Solzhenitsyn. They brought the Orthodox Church back, you name it. Russia is reforming because they've already hit rock bottom. We're now going into the greatest tyranny we've ever seen, bipartisan. And
I agree with you. I over there, I see this budding blossom of freedom happening, of people getting the shackles off, and you can feel it. Here, the shackles are going on. We got one on one ankle right now, and they're grabbing for the second ankle right now.
Well said.
And I see we are going in the opposite directions, maybe to the same level. Maybe Russia will stop and will stop when they have everybody shackled down still. I don't know. I hope Russia keeps going in the direction that they're going. But we have to stop the direction we're going in. And to me, the way you stop it, do you know, Alex, that right now, world opinion, if you ask anyone outside the United States, what country do you believe you'll most likely go to war with?
They say the United States
is number one.
Yes, very sad.
I think we should hang our head in shame over that. As a veteran, I do. I hang my head in shame. People think that's wonderful. They think that it's great that the rest of the world shakes in their boots, worried about whether the United States is going to attack them or not.
Let me bring this up because I want to be clear, though, and I agree with you totally.
Globalists have hijacked our country. They've hijacked Europe. They are using our name to do it. It's our responsibility to stop it. Polls show Americans don't like this imperialism. We're paying for it on top of it, and we're trying to reform ourselves. The problem is the militarists control both major parties. Now, expanding on that, I don't know if you saw the last Republican debate, but Santorum said it's time to punch the Russians in the nose, give them a bloody nose. Then Chris Christie said, I want to start shooting down their aircraft. And Rand Paul looked at him and said, well, if you want World War III, vote for these maniacs.
Exactly. You know what gets me? Every one of these big mouths that state all that and talk all that robust crap have never served themselves. They have nobody in the military. They don't have a dog in the fight. But they're happy to send your kids off to die. You know, if one of the first things I'd do, Alex, if I became president, I would work to pass a law that anyone that votes to go to war, they must pre-designate a family member, be it a nephew, somebody. They must pre-designate a family member who, when they take that vote to go to war, that family member immediately starts military service.
Well, that sounds very draconian, but if you go back to the age of chivalry that really ended about 200 years ago or so in Europe and Japan, you name it, didn't end until just about 50 years ago, they wouldn't follow a leader.
I don't care about draconian. I care that they need a dog in the fight. I'm 64 years old now, Alex, and I've watched us go through Korea, Vietnam, and all the rest of this.
Well, crap. Governor, let me just agree with you, because here's my whole point. It sounds draconian, but it's not, because in every culture, if the king didn't put his sons in the front lines, or if he didn't fight, no one would follow him. It's a default. And so I want to go one further. All these politicians, I don't care how old they are, who they are, there needs to be a provision that there's combat units just for them that they've got to command from the front line when they call for war. I think they should be in the middle of it, Governor.
Well, you're not going to get that. Settle for mine, the mine, that they at least have to name a family member. Be it a daughter, a son, or somebody has to begin military service at the point of the vote.
I agree, and it can't be behind a desk.
Because, Alex, I was asked one time by Jason Lewis, a right-wing talk show host here in Minnesota. I think he's running for Congress now. You know, but I was asked by him one time. He said it's a huge decision to make the decision to go to war. It's a difficult decision. And I looked at Lewis, I said, no, look, Jason, I said, it's an easy decision.
Stay there, Governor. We got to go to break. Come back and tell us the story. Jesse Ventura, hot interview.
Thanks to the Federal Reserve System, America's economy is in a terminal decline. And according to economic expert Michael Snyder, here's 8 facts that reveal just how bad the economy really is. Number 1, the majority of all American workers bring home less than $30,000 a year in wages. Number 2, the poorest 40% of all Americans now spend most of their incomes just on food and housing. Number 3, at least 50% of Americans who rent their homes spend more than a third of their incomes on the rent. Number 4, incomes keep declining for a large majority of the U.S. population. Number 5, the price of ground beef has more than doubled since 2009. Number 6, the rate of home ownership in the U.S. has been declining for at least 7 years in a row. It's now the lowest that it's been in 20 years. Number 7, almost half of all Americans are not saving their money, and it's been estimated that 62% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Number 8, 1/3 of all Americans with student loans are currently behind on their student loan debt. Check out Infowars.com for more economic news, and also our new YouTube channel, Resistance News. This is Kit Daniels reporting.
In the 15-year history of PrisonPlanet.tv, we have never offered 6 months free at Christmas. We've always offered 5 months free. But since I announced 6 free months a few days ago, we have seen record numbers of signups. PrisonPlanet.tv began 15 years ago. It's grown into InfoWars, Nightly News, and so much more. All of my documentary films, scores of ebooks, and other exclusive documentaries are available for streaming or download in HD at PrisonPlanet.tv. You don't just get 6 months free when you sign up from Christmas through New Year's. You also get to share that membership with up to 20 people simultaneously using your username. You can also sign up for a trial month and only pay $5.95, and then 20 of you and your friends and family can watch PrisonPlanet.tv. Get 20 memberships at half price. Be the Paul Revere in your community. That's 6 months free when you sign up for a year at PrisonPlanet.tv. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Brain Force is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more focused, less brain fog, more energy, and it's because of Brain Force.
There's always hidden additives in your food. Even organic food has hidden additives. Staring at the computer all day, working, doing good, you're still damaging your brain. Ultimately, we've all been dumbed down to some degree.
It doesn't have stimulants. It doesn't have garbage in it. It has natural things that do it clean. You will find Brain Force and other game-changing products at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura is our guest. If you'd like to talk to him, the toll-free number is 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. Now, we've still got free shipping going today. It was going to end Sunday or so, but it's been left up at InfoWarsStore.com. So if you want any of the great products, the Hillary for Prison T-shirt, the Molon Lave T-shirts, that special will run until tomorrow morning, but we are going to pull the free shipping. And I really just want to thank everybody that has bought products at InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com. When you buy the high-quality Mexican organic coffee from Chiapas, you're getting what I think some of the best coffee out there at a very low price and a free coffee cup, InfoWars Coffee Cup made in America. That's 2 bags of the coffee, and then you get a free coffee mug, a $9 value. When you buy the Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2, you're not just getting the truest, purest iodine that we could ever find, the best anybody out there has. I mean, we've done our research that blocks the bad halogens like fluoride, helps clean out the thyroid. It's just amazing what it does for me. Talk about energy. Whoa. Try a bottle. You know you're supporting the broadcast. 20% off that. 33% off some of the package deals of some of the products. But regardless, you are funding Infowars.com. You are funding the Nightly News, this syndicated radio show. When you go get the Deep Cleanse Pack and get 33% off. When you get some of the other specials that are there. This is how we fund this operation. The Essentials Pack, 33% off. Super Male or Female Vitality, Silver Bullet, and Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2. I know this. I've had colds before that antibiotics don't kick, and Silver Bullet, for me personally, did. Does that mean Silver Bullet's a total Silver Bullet? No. But the properties of 30 parts per million colloidal silver have been known for a long time. That's why old-timers would put, silver dollars in their milk jugs in their root cellar to keep it, fresh longer. Check it out for yourself, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. But again, I want to thank all of you that are supporters and that do buy the products, because shopping with the good guys is what makes all this possible. Voting with your dollars separately. We've run a special for 15 years since I started my subscription site for my films, live events, other documentary films, ebooks, you name it. But for now 4 years, we've had the InfoWars Nightly News. It's all archived there, HD, and you pay it forward. When you get a $5.95 a month membership, it helps fund us then putting out most of what we do for free on YouTube and other platforms. But we've got to have the money to produce it. People are like, well, then why should I pay for it if it's free to others? That's the whole point. And a lot of folks get that, some don't. You get first use, HD, a lot of it's exclusive, like the commercial-free podcast, special events. There is exclusive stuff there, but 90% of it is given away the next day to everybody. That's the whole point in the info war. Billionaire globalists give all this money to overthrow our freedoms, come after our guns, like Bloomberg. You have to then spend $5.95 a month to help fund this truly independent libertarian operation. So I want to salute those of you that have and encourage those of you that haven't to go sign up today. It takes about 60 seconds with a credit card or PayPal or other systems to sign up. Then you get a username and passcode. Now, the username, folks, will let 20 people sign up. 20 people sign up or sign in for free. 20 people can go log in when you sign up once simultaneously for $5.95 a month. Now, that's the normal yearly membership. It's half off, ladies and gentlemen, 6 months free. We're only running it this December into early January. We've always offered 5 months free. We're doing 6 months free because bandwidth prices have gone down. We're able to do this more affordably. That's how each membership can be used by 20 people. This is so exciting. So please share your membership with friends and family and sign up for a year and get 6 months free. When I say half off, when you normally sign up for a year, you get 2 months free. So it's $54.95 normally. Right now it's $36.50 off. That's because you're signing up for a year and getting 6 months free. It would be like 70-something bucks, but with the 2 months free, it's $54. And then with the 6 months free, it's $36. So that's how that works out. $36, sign up for a year. 20 people can watch for an entire year and help fund the operation and download it and keep copies on your computer, burn it to disk, give it to friends. That's how we reach people, is you taking action. So don't thank me for all the success of InfoWars. We want to thank you. And our job is supporting other independent media, other media that isn't controlled and tells it like it is. That's why I promote what Jesse Ventura does. It's why he has me on his show. It's why I promote Ron Paul's channel. It's why the folks that put him on cable in Houston have put me on there. We all just work together. Drudge promotes us. We promote Drudge. WorldNet Daily promotes us. We promote WorldNet Daily. This is what it's all about, is coming together to promote basic liberty and freedom in this country. Now, going back to the former Minnesota governor, Jesse Ventura, whose own TV show got censored. That's Inside Baseball, but I wish he'd tell that story sometime. It's pretty revealing. He just got back from Russia. Amazing talks with CIA former people at panels, you name it. Governor, let's get into more of what you witnessed in Russia. Then I want to shift gears into Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump being buddies. You now know Vladimir Putin, and of course you're friends with Donald Trump. That's quite a story right there as well.
I guess so. Well, the big thing was they also had panel discussions over there with moderators and things like that, and you could sit in on them. And the one I found very interesting, there were two former lifetime CIA people who are now retired, one a whistleblower. And the real thing, we were dealing with communication, so that's what they kind of centered everything about because it's television. And they talked about how all of this surveillance that they're putting the United States people under, violating our Fourth Amendment rights, and they've got us all now under surveillance. Clearly, both guys said it doesn't work and won't work. And they said the clear example is what just took place in Southern California. If the surveillance worked, these people would have been apprehended before they did what they did. So clearly, it's a snow job. They can't protect you with this surveillance. Both men were very clear on that you're not going to be protected any better by putting everyone under surveillance, all your emails, all your telephone calls, and basically they told us that they all are. Now, whether or not they get to places, but basically they said the entire United States is under surveillance right now.
Well, Drake has been on, William Binney's been on, the former head of technical for the NSA, and they said it's even worse than what you're saying. You're absolutely right. They are taking in so much data that then any real data gets lost like a needle in a haystack.
Exactly. That's what these two guys said. They said they may get the data, but there's so much of it because they're not targeting. They're just doing this blanket coverage of putting every person's email under surveillance that they can't possibly find, the bad ones slip by. Or they may find a few, but there's going to be some that slip by.
Well, let's go further. It actually came out in the Associated Press and Reuters that the FBI was investigating the mosque and these two reported shooters, but was ordered by Obama administration and the Civil Rights Task Force to stop it 2 years ago. So it's even beyond that. It's even worse than that. But you're right. They're using the threat of terror to take our liberties and to launch all these new wars. Remember, Saudi Arabia supposedly was involved in the attacks, which we now know with 28 pages. So we attack Iraq. And Governor, do you feel vindicated? Because when you 4 years ago did your big 9/11 special and interviewed all those experts, you got demonized nationally for bare minimum saying Saudi Arabia was involved and our government stood down. We know it's worse than that. And you looked at Building 7 on national TV, never before done. I mean, that was truly groundbreaking material. And now that stuff's all been verified. It's all come out.
Well, I feel personally vindicated. I'm not sure if the public has taken the stigma off me yet because The public still loves to keep the blinds in front of their eyes for whatever reason. They like the comfort zone. They don't want to know the truth. And so I personally feel vindicated, you know, if they'd release these 28 pages that show a direct monetary from the hijackers to Saudi Arabia, which Senator Graham and Congressman Cook assured me that's what's in it. They've read it. And if that be the case, then that does change 9/11 completely. And then it begs the question, why in hell did we invade Iraq? You know, I don't know, did you ever see that special Vince Bugliosi did about prosecuting George Bush for murder? If you haven't, watch it.
I've seen it. We had Bugliosi on to promote it. It's very powerful.
Oh, I watched it the other day and was fuming out my ears.
But see, I'm bipartisan, just like you are. I wonder if Bugliosi's going to expose Obama for all the wars he's been involved in.
Unfortunately died.
That's right. That's right.
Vince passed away a year ago.
I knew that. I forget when people have died. The older you get, it's like you start talking about somebody and you go, oh, wait a minute, they're dead.
Yeah, unfortunately, Vince went to the other side about a year ago. And I'll truly miss him because he and I differed greatly on the killing of Kennedy, but we still were able to remain good friends.
Boy, he sure was wrong about that.
Very much.
I mean, Kennedy is open and shut. It's ridiculous.
I don't know why. And you know, I'm reading a book right now, Alex, that's phenomenal. Talbot wrote it. It's on Alan Dulles.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable. I encourage people, get this book. It will show you. There's even tie-ins from Alan Dulles to Donald Rumsfeld.
I knew that through L.L. Lemnitzer. Yeah. Rumsfeld first worked for L.L. Lemnitzer, who Eisenhower fired when he came up with the Northwoods plan.
Well, anyway, this book by Talbot's phenomenal. It deals totally with Alan Dulles from when he took over the CIA all the way through till he died. I'm not even finished. I'm just up to the Kennedy killing right now. But it's an unbelievable book that I encourage people, if you got the guts, read it, to read the truth about how this guy murdered people throughout the world, so how easy would it be for him to just turn around and murder our president? He murdered other presidents.
Well, let me just say, in Texas, in Austin, and in Dallas, when you get around rich people and famous people and folks involved in these administrations, I have actually been on airplanes and at parties where people sit around shooting their mouth off about killing that son of a bitch JFK. I mean, it's not hidden around here. And that's why LBJ, in front of his mistress, who I interviewed, many other people, just walked around bragging about it. I mean, it wasn't even debated. I mean, my grandmother dated one of LBJ's hitmen before she got married. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It became part of the world then because they were being so successful throughout the rest of the world, overthrowing if any country elected a president who was at all leftist or at all for the people and not for big industry or corporations, the United States would go in there and overthrow their governments. It's horrible when you read about it.
I absolutely agree with what you're saying. Now, again, let's drill in here to this Donald Trump situation, and the situation that ties into Putin and Hillary, because I guess you know all three of these people, but I guess Trump the best. Hillary's come out and said that Putin has journalists killed, and I'm sure Putin isn't perfect, but I've never seen the cut and dry evidence of it. And now Donald Trump has fired back defending Putin. I mean, imagine if Trump did get in and then we didn't have to have a new Cold War with Russia. Imagine actually trying to have peace. I think that's what really puts Donald Trump in danger. But let's go to this clip.
Final question about Vladimir Putin. When you were pressed about his killing of journalists, you said, I think our country does plenty of killing, too. What were you thinking about? Killing sanctioned by the U.S. government is like killing journalists.
Well, I think, number one, I think Hillary, when she was Secretary of State, made some horrible, horrible decisions, and thousands and even hundreds of thousands of people have been killed. I mean, you look at what went on in Libya. You look at so many bad decisions that she made. She's incompetent as far as I'm concerned.
That's
you
not
look at
killing
her
by the United States government, though, is it? That's not the same as ordering a killing.
As far as the reporters are concerned, obviously, I don't want that to happen. I think it's horrible. But in all fairness to Putin, you're saying he killed people. I haven't seen that. I don't know that he has. Have you been able to prove that? Do you know the names of the reporters that he's killed? Because you've been hearing this, but I haven't seen the name. Now, I think it would be despicable if that took place, but I haven't seen any evidence that he killed anybody in terms of reporters.
Here's what Mitt Romney tweeted about that. He said there's an important distinction here. Thug Putin kills journalists and opponents. Our presidents kill terrorists and enemy combatants.
All right, let's stop right there. Okay, there's no proof, no convictions.
Really, we just kill terrorists and enemy combatants and doctors, right?
But they don't have any proof. It's like they say that I say that there's wasp under the... Alex, I'm just adding, they forgot to put in doctors. I agree.
Remember when we attacked Doctors Without Borders?
Well, they also attacked press stations. They
murdered 40 of them.
They blew up the Belgrade national TV station, killing a bunch of people in Serbia.
Yeah. So, people need to understand the United States of America isn't clean on this. We've been doing dastardly things throughout the world my entire life.
Governor, I totally agree with you, but here's my angle. They claim you got pulled over drunk in L.A. at the airport when you weren't in L.A. and weren't drunk and there was no police record. They claim that you made fun of dead Navy SEALs with no proof. You went in court. You can't get your name back in some areas. It's the same thing with me. They say every day things I never said, and now they say it about Putin. Where is the proof? Their proof is Mitt Romney says so? I mean, again... That's crazy. Go ahead.
Oh, I agree totally. A guy with magic underwear, I'm going to believe him. Anyway, no, I shouldn't have said that, I guess, but I had to throw a little comedic back at it. But, that's the whole thing. Who do you believe? Because we get fed so much propaganda in this country. About 2 years ago, Vladimir Putin did a major speech that was carried throughout the world, yet no one in the United States carried this speech. Why? Why aren't we allowed to hear what the guy has to say?
That's like Nazi Germany wouldn't let foreign media in. That's a real sign of totalitarianism. The old Russia wouldn't let it.
Alex, we're behaving like Germany. Look at our cops out on the street today. They don't look like police officers. They look like Nazi stormtroopers.
And that has been the federal government pushing that whole agenda.
Whatever's pushing it, we need to look in the mirror. Because if you read about 1930s Germany, you compare to what's going on here today, it's identical, people. Wake up.
Did you see a lot of police in Moscow?
You see a few, sure. Yeah, I mean, the Kremlin's, you got to go through security to get into the Kremlin.
How were they dressed?
Huh?
How were the Russian police dressed?
They were they're dressed more like Cossacks. I don't know. They're dressed more joyously. They wear like those big coats and big hats, I don't know how to describe. They're dressed like the stereotype you see in the movies.
No, we need to get you in one of those outfits, Jesse. You look pretty imposing.
I'm Slovak. That's close.
No, I know. That's exactly what I'm saying. You'd be scary looking at one of those outfits. Stay right there. We'll be right back with Jesse Ventura on your phone calls, I promise.
With a new year coming, it's time for a new way to look at weapon storage. Safes can't be accessed quickly, and racks are unsafe for children. Covert cabinets are the next level in home defense. They fit seamlessly into any home's decor, and they provide quick access to firearms while keeping them uniquely hidden. Covert cabinets, the ideal hidden storage solution. Custom made in the USA. Covert cabinets are an elegant and practical alternative to the bulky and obvious storage systems of the past. Find out more at covertcabinets.com. That's covertcabinets.com.
Ho, ho, ho. Katie is ready for the holiday season. Get your gift certificates now. Go to katiearmor.com. That's CATI armor.com for our best Christmas deals. Come and take it.
Advertising your business with GCN is simple, effective, and more affordable than you might think. Visit advertise.gcnlive.com for more info. Take your business to the next level. That's advertise.gcnlive.com.
Soon Christmas would have come and gone, and with it, 2015. Now is the time to give the gift of amazing health this Christmas and New Year's season. Many of you have experienced or you've heard about the amazing benefits from the exclusive formulations available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now is your chance to share them with those you love and take advantage of free shipping and unprecedented specials. You will find the InfoWars Life Essentials Pack with X2 Super Male and Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver for 33% off on top of free shipping. You'll also find other specials like the Deep Cleanse Pack with Deep Cleanse, Oxy Powder, and Living Defense for 28% off and again free shipping. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. Read the 5-star reviews. See the informational videos. Add your friends and family members' addresses on checkout and we'll ship their gifts free directly to them. We're talking about game-changing gifts, and they're all available with free shipping and massive discounts this Christmas season. InfoWarsLife.com.
If survivalist housing has been in your plans, get ready. We're bringing our Timberline Range Camps to you February 6th through 14th, the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Get an up-close look at some of our most popular Timberline models, or visit survivalistcamps.com to pre-order a camp. We'll bring it to the show and save you the cost of shipping. It's the perfect time to get that camp you've wanted. Go to survivalistcamps.com, then plan on joining us at the Great American Outdoor Show in February in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
The thing I like about the fact that we're able to broadcast 3-4 hours a day is we can really get into some long-form ideas and really break some things down. And that's why I like Donald Trump. For all of his problems, nobody's perfect. You know, he says, hey, we shouldn't be bombing all these countries. We should come home and rebuild America. Well, that's what Jesse Ventura says. And then they criticize Trump because that's not a Republican talking point. Well, it's just a common sense talking point. We're going bankrupt. We have to rebuild this country. I'm now stealing Ventura's thunder, but he was preaching to me during the break that was important to do, and I totally agree with him. I mean, what's the military-industrial complex going to do if they fully bankrupt this country, Governor?
Well, that's just it. We've spent over $1.7 trillion in the war on terror over there, and we've accomplished nothing.
I think it's more than that now.
I say you bring the troops home, use them to secure your borders, and take this defense money and start rebuilding America. Do people in this country realize every time we drop a bomb, that could be a new bridge, and that could be jobs to people building that bridge? It's time to come home, fix up our country, take care of our backyard.
And that is not a Democrat talking point.
Handle their own problems.
And that's not a Democratic talking point. Whenever Trump says that, they accuse him of being a Democrat. You're not a Democrat, Jesse. That's just common sense.
Hell no, I'm not either. I'm your independent who's always been independent. I'm a free thinker, but I know the difference between right and wrong.
Absolutely. Let's go to Nick in Michigan. He's a Marine vet. You're on the air. Go ahead, Nick.
Hi, Governor Ventura. It's an absolute honor to talk to you. This is a question for really both you guys. I'm a Marine veteran. My oldest brother is still active duty. I have a younger brother who also served. My dad served. And now my youngest brother, who has a college education, he's looking to enlist in the Marine Corps right now. And me and my dad and my one brother are trying to talk him out of going in the Marine Corps. What would you say to somebody in that situation who has a college degree?
I would say don't do it because the vaccines alone is a death sentence. I mean, it hurts them bad. But, Governor, what's your view on this? Thank you, Nick.
My view is simple. I come from a similar family. Everyone both my mother and father were World War II vets, and everyone in my family served. That's an individual thing, a decision someone has to make, and that's their decision to make. What I say to young people is this. Always remember, if you take that step and you raise and take an oath, remember in that oath, you're taking an oath to protect the Constitution and the Bill of Rights of this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and never forget
That's right.
that you took an oath to do that.
That's right. Let's go to Wild in Wisconsin. Another call from Wisconsin. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Jonesy, Mr. Governor, with the upper and lower arcana at hand with the globalists, Trump has to seal the deal for the presidency before the book of tricks gets fully implemented. Trump needs to have a dog in the fight and make a masterpiece of a deal with the American people and the establishment. If he doesn't make America great again, then he should take his name off the building.
Sure. What's your question for Governor Ventura? Because we have limited time.
Sure. I want to know if Mr. Ventura believes Trump to be legitimate or part of the CEO elite class.
That's a really great question, Jesse.
Well, I think Trump is his own man in a lot of ways. I don't know for certain. Don't take it to the bank. But he was involved in the independent movement. He actually came to a fundraiser in Minnesota way back in the 90s when I ran as an independent for governor. And Donald's always kind of rattled his sword about running. I never believed he actually would. And then this year and I said, I don't believe it. I think Donald does it for the publicity. He's a brilliant man. This year he actually has done it. And this year he looks like he's going to see it through till the end. And, you know, the guy can do what he wants. He's got enough money to where he can't be stopped on the monetary end.
So there you go. Jesse Ventura says he's his own man. I agree with that. I've now had some behind-the-scenes stuff. Ventura's had a lot of it. And Trump's for real. Does that mean he's perfect? Absolutely not. We'll be back in 70 seconds. Final segment with Ventura. More calls.
I want more candy. I want more video games. Line.
And it's that type of behavior that spurred me to do the research to develop a true nutraceutical formula that was designed to smooth out and help children focus. All of our children are hit with modern mind control. Television, music, fast food, GMOs, sugars, you name it. Young humans have not yet developed their nervous system and are being hammered daily by globalist concoctions. It's no wonder they can't focus and calm down and then are put on dangerous psychotropic drugs. Working with my team, we set out to find the best formula with the highest quality ingredients that children would actually like and take. We worked with the leading manufacturer in nutritional supplements that are safe for children to bring you the most affordable and powerful calming formula out there. Introducing Child Ease with herbs and calming extracts like chamomile and lemon balm and essential nutrients that taste great. Obtain your Child Ease today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's Child Ease exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com. Stories up on Infowars.com. MSNBC says white men with guns, bigger threat than radical Islam. White men. Just incredible race baiting. Jesse Ventura is with us. You can, of course, go to Aura TV and find his Off the Grid show. Very popular. Be sure and spread the word about that. It's also on RT. And we're taking phone calls right now. And Jesse, you've also updated your book. Tell folks about that, your latest book.
Well, we did a updated American Conspiracies where we added 4 new conspiracies to it, Alex. It seems that every year you'll get a new one these days because the government will do something or something will rise up that you realize is a major cover-up. And, you know, we did a thing on POWs, which was close to me because you're led to believe when you join the military and you're told that if you ever get captured, our government will do anything and everything to get you returned home. Well, it's simply not true. If you become a political liability, kiss your butt goodbye. They could care less about you.
Well, look at Pat Tillman. He didn't go along with the narrative. They killed him dead in a hammer. Joe in Connecticut, you're on the air with Jesse Ventura. Go ahead.
Hi, Governor. This is Joe from Connecticut. I don't know if this has been asked of you, but I want to ask you, if Donald Trump gets the nomination, which I believe he's going to, and I sure hope he is, would you consider being his running mate? Because I think the two of you would be a fantastic combination.
Joe, thank you. Your radio's on. I'm going to let you go. Go ahead, Jesse.
Well, first of all, remember, this is the Republican Party. Jesse Ventura is hardly a Republican. They know me. I'm like Che Guevara to them. I'm the revolutionary. I'm the independent. I belong to neither party.
So you don't think that bird will fly?
Well, I said it jokingly. I told Roger Stone, I said, if Donald truly wants to tick off the Republicans, he should pick me as his running mate, the ultimate independent, to bring that independent vote along. It would be a smart move on Trump's part to do that, but I doubt it would ever happen. And besides, I still have to make the decision on whether I make a libertarian move the end of May.
And that was my next question. Look, I'm not normally for third-party runs if you're going to try to choose somebody from one of the two parties. And normally, I didn't support McCain or Obama because of that. I see your view about them being two gangs. But Trump clearly is trying to take over the Republican Party. if they steal the delegates in a broker convention, which Jeb Bush says they're planning to do, Jeb's got 5% of the vote, but he gets the nomination, you've got to have Trump go. The only place you get ballot access would be with the Libertarians. And so if you take that slot, then he can't take it. But his ace in the hole is leaving and taking over the Libertarian nomination.
Yeah, but the problem is, Alex, the Libertarians nominate the end of May. The Republicans won't even decide till July.
No, I understand that.
Trump will stay with the Republicans till it's too late. And then he can't come back to the Libertarians. He's got to ride the horse to the convention, doesn't he?
Yes, and that's the problem.
And that's the problem. Once he goes to the convention, if they steal it from him, he has nowhere to go because the Libertarians will have already nominated in May.
Are you concerned that they may be planning, like they've done before, to try to steal the nomination from him?
I don't know. I'm always concerned about that. You know, I don't trust either one of these two political parties. To me, they're a gang of thieves because they operate under the concept of bribery. All they do is, their job is to go out and take bribes and pass it on, and you bribe them and you get what you want. And the people of America, hell, we're third or fourth on their list, you know. Number one is their parties. Number two is the corporations that finance them and the big money. We might be third. We might even be as low as fourth.
Well, folks,
their personal gain would be third. What can I achieve? What level can I help myself out personally instead of being in public service? So we, the people of America, probably align ourselves up as the fourth choice with these two political parties.
That's right. Well, folks, you can find Aura TV and Off the Grid, Jesse Ventura. Governor, I don't want to say I'm glad you didn't go to Mexico this Christmas, but I'm glad you're here so you come on the show. Look forward to speaking to you more as the campaign unfolds, and who knows, maybe see you throw your hat in the ring.
Well, I'm not throwing it out yet. I'm sitting back in the weeds and watching, Alex, and I want to see what comes through the wash. I got to see the Pikers get out. Oh, one last funny thing.
Hold on. You got to stay there. The brake's firing. Got to come right back.
Syrian refugee admitted his main goal is not to escape war or ISIS persecution, but to convert Europeans to Islam. He said, quote, "My main goal for leaving Syria is to lead the people to the acceptance of Islam. I swear by Allah that I only came here for this one goal. I have observed that they are curious and willing to get to know Islam through us." And he's not the only one. Influential Shia recently gave a speech in which he encouraged radical Muslims to use the migrant crisis to, quote, breed with Europeans and conquer their countries. But this modern-day Islamic conquest is not just happening only in Europe. Here in the U.S., radical Muslims are building their own Islamic compounds and communities while telling Christians and other non-Muslims to keep out. And these communities are rapidly expanding. In fact, the Obama administration has admitted nearly 400 Syrian refugees into the U.S. since the November 13th Paris attacks, and only one of them is a Christian. But Christians comprise about 10% of the population in Syria. So why isn't the Obama administration allowing more Christian refugees into the U.S.? I'll let you decide. This is Kit Daniels with Infowars.com.
Over the years, there have been a lot of powerful advancements in the field of science and nutraceuticals. Youngevity integrates years of scientific research into creating fantastic products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, plant-derived minerals, and much more. Youngevity also offers you an ingenious way to augment your income. And the best part, you'll be helping your friends and family along the way. Visit InfoWarsTeam.com today. Become a member. Get discounts on the amazing products and free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip. And you're able to promote the products to friends and family and neighbors in your community and make money while helping people at the same time. Another win-win. That's why I'm a member of the Youngevity team at InfoWarsTeam.com, and you can be too. It's simple. Just go to InfoWarsTeam.com today, complete a short sign-up, and you're part of the team. That's InfoWarsTeam.com or InfoWarsHealth.com. So many people call into my radio show and tell me how Youngevity and the products at InfoWarsTeam.com have changed their lives. Check it out for yourself today. In the 15-year history of PrisonPlanet.tv, we have never offered 6 months free at Christmas. We've always offered 5 months free. But since I announced 6 free months a few days ago, we have seen record numbers of signups. PrisonPlanet.tv began 15 years ago. It's grown into InfoWars, Nightly News, and so much more. All of my documentary films, scores of ebooks, and other exclusive documentaries are available for streaming or download in HD at PrisonPlanet.tv. You don't just get 6 months free when you sign up from Christmas through New Year's. You also get to share that membership with up to 20 people simultaneously using your username. You can also sign up for a trial month and only pay $5.95, and then 20 of you and your friends and family can watch PrisonPlanet.tv. Get 20 memberships at half price. Be the Paul Revere in your community. That's 6 months free when you sign up for a year at PrisonPlanet.tv. All right, Jesse Ventura with us into the third hour today. It's such an interesting interview that he's been hanging around with us. He's about to leave. And I know we got loaded phone lines, but I need to get into some more world news. I need to get into some really important news with the economy. Some really important news when it comes to geoengineering. In fact, Jesse Ventura wanted to tell one more funny Chris Christie story, but it's so intriguing, you know, all the inside baseball and things that the governor knows with the people he sees all over the country. I look forward to having him back sometime just to tell some of his more interesting stories, not just from Hollywood, but politics and as a governor, as a mayor, you name it. A lot of the stories I know, but I'm not allowed to tell them because I was there and it's all private. And I get holding your cards close to the vest, but man, I wish people knew about Homeland Security and the TV show and the rest of it. I think people don't get how much trouble you've got to go through to get on the air and talk about these topics. And one of those, Governor, and then we'll get into your Chris Christie story. I'm glad that you were able to stay longer. I'm going to cover this at the bottom of the hour, folks. Smithsonian came out Saturday, the Associated Press on Sunday, and a whole bunch of other articles admitting that, the jet exhaust is darkening the atmosphere and is toxic, and they don't know what's happening, even though we have thousands of documents admitting it's part of a program since the 90s, where, of course, the pilots don't know, but it's added to the jet fuel. Then there's spray planes as well. You expose that yet again, the first time on national television, and got made fun of, got ridiculed. I have friends who like the show and believe in conspiracies, but they think this is kooky, even though it's admitted. So what do you make of that announcement? Here's the Smithsonian.com. Airplane contrails may be creating accidental geoengineering. Well, nothing accidental about it, Jesse.
Well, there probably is nothing accidental about anything. The story I'll tell is this. They have McDonald's over in Moscow, and Putin is so opposed to the GMOs, they won't allow them in Moscow, genetic modified food. And so the McDonald's there has to use all Russian ingredients. And people told me, now I didn't try it, but people told me McDonald's hamburgers in Moscow are way better than the hamburgers in the United States.
Oh, yeah. They have standards. In fact, there's been articles on this, Governor. You can look it up. So what you're telling us is just proven by other food critics. In Japan, in Russia, and other countries, they have rules that you've got to use domestic food as part of the franchise, and you can get a McDonald's burger like they had 35 years ago that is actually good. The fried chicken doesn't have all the GMO, all the chemicals, all the antibiotics. Absolutely. It's well known that the food's better over there because they won't allow additives. In fact, did you hear Putin came out and said he wants to make Russia the first world exporter of organic food?
No, I didn't, but it doesn't surprise me. After hearing him speak that night, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Let me finish with this, Alex. You know, Chris Christie seems to be this major hawk. He wants to blow everybody out of the air and do all that. Chris Christie couldn't even serve in the military, Alex. When you go into boot camp, they require that you at least have to be able to do one sit-up and one push-up.
You're kidding. He couldn't do one push-up or one sit-up.
You think he could?
No, I bet he couldn't.
That's what I mean. Here's a guy telling all the kids to go to war, and he in his whole life could never even make it into the military because he's so out of shape.
What is it about neocons, hawks, that the ones that shoot their mouths off about bloody noses and kill the Russians are the ones that never served? I mean, I was never in the military, but I've studied enough history to know that you just don't nonchalantly start wars. But even in the past, people that were warrior presidents or kings weren't respected for shooting their mouths off about we're going to crush the enemy because that was seen as bad luck. I mean, as a Navy SEAL, I know a lot of Special Forces guys, they'll never brag about how tough they are. They'll never brag about killing people. Isn't that looked down upon by real warriors?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, that's a little different today because today they seem to like to come home and write books about it. But in my day, you didn't discuss that. We used to operate under the simple premise. It's the Las Vegas thing. What happens on deployment stays on deployment.
Well,
it's that simple.
You're absolutely
My father had 6 bronze battle stars in World War II. I didn't even know it till he died, and I read it on his DD-214, his discharge papers.
Yeah, my dad's dad was in the Army Air Corps as a pilot, and he always said, oh, I got heat stroke, hurt my eyes, not wearing sunglasses, only flew a few missions, and then when he died, they got into all his stuff, and he'd done his missions, and then, after you did your Catch-22, then, he was put into just Army management and stuff in the invasion of Italy, but he never told the family any of it. No one ever knew any of it.
No, that's the way it was done. That was my father. Interesting for me. I came out of the 50s, and my mother did all the driving. And I could never figure out why, because this was the Leave It to Beaver era. Dads drove, moms didn't. In my family, my mom drove. So I asked my dad one day, I said, Dad, how come you don't drive? And he told me, he said, oh, I don't trust myself. And I thought, that's legitimate. If you don't trust yourself, you shouldn't drive. Well, when my dad passed away, my mom told me the real reason, post-traumatic stress. He was in the 699th Anti-Tank Division under Patton, and apparently he drove these anti-tank things over so many dead bodies that he could never get behind the wheel of a car again.
Yeah, I always tried to get these...
to work. My dad walked to work every morning 2 miles. Walked to work, never drove a car.
And people like Chris Christie thinks war is sexy.
Yeah, they think that's our whole culture today, Alex. We're making war look like it's a wonderful thing. It is not wonderful, people. It's man at his lowest level. It's the worst man can possibly be, is war. And yet we're turning in... I mean, I get embarrassed when I watch these ads on TV with Arnold in the war game. Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, I don't follow him. He's tell me about it.
No, it's on. He's doing some sort of war video game now that are also popular, and they got him dressed up in a uniform. And with the way he talks, it sounds and looks like the Nazis.
I tell you,
and it's all glorified. You look at all these games they put out to the kids. It all glorifies war as some wonderful, wonderful thing. And the final thing, and I'll stop bitching. When I'm so anti now, when I learned that our Department of Defense was paying professional sports to honor the veterans, that was the last straw for me, Alex. I will not go live to another pro sports event in my life, I don't believe.
Well, I'm looking at this video of Schwarzenegger taking over an Army war room, and it is totally Nazi. All the iconography, the way he's operating, the way he's saying how great war is.
Yeah.
And our public thinks war now is a video game.
Arnold, I'm not mad at him, but that's the culture of America today.
Well, Arnold has become a caricature of a caricature, and I tell you, with all these chicken hawks and people out there pushing war, it is certainly a scary thing. I don't think you're bitching. I think you're bringing up concerns that most Americans and others really, really have. Jesse Ventura, thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you, Alex. Always a pleasure, and maybe we'll do it again before I head south.
Please come back on, and
all right.
Thanks for the time. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, there he goes. Now, I talked to Ventura during a break, and I said, are you serious about building a wall now and bringing our military home? And he goes, no, I'm not joking. Because I said, look, I don't want to get into the immigration thing with you again. Whole crew heard it. And I'm not saying something out of school. He said he'd say it again on air, but we forgot to get into it again. Because I was talking to him during the break like 30 minutes ago. I said, hey, repeat everything you just said on air. And he goes, okay, I will. And then we never got to it. But I was like, listen, I don't want to get into the immigration fight. Because on your side, they say we all want to throw women and children out and we're not loving. And on our side, we're saying we just can't pay for everything free. Let the Democrats advertise a bunch of anti-gunners to come in. Because that's what's happening. If they brag, it's game over. So he's like, no, I'm being serious. I'm saying with all the security stuff and the rest of it, I'd rather not be an empire. Bring back the military, put it on our border, stop all immigration. Actually sounds pretty good for a while, doesn't it? I mean, would you end all this garbage? Do you think countries would really attack us? We've got submarines and nukes and all this stuff. We just left the world alone. Nobody messes with Switzerland. They don't even have nuclear weapons. They're neutral. Oh, the jihadis will attack us. because criminal federal elements are funding the jihadis and letting them come in to attack us because they've suspended common sense and logic to where when we get attacked, the politicians who brought them in don't get in trouble. And then they get to take our freedoms, have $100 billion surveillance budgets every year. $100 billion is spent on these intelligence agencies and surveillance every year. $100 billion.
Man, game over, man. It's game over.
And the special interests want to suck this country dry. When the country collapses down the road, it'll be done slowly probably, but as it collapses, it's by design. They're going to the world government model now. They don't want any country that's sovereign, any country that's strong. We got a bunch of calls that wanted to talk to Ventura. I got to a lot of them, and I'll just take your calls. You can voice your opinion or make your statement about what Ventura had to say in the next segment or so. Then I've got to get to geoengineering at the start of the next segment because I've mentioned it a bunch. I've talked about it some, but I want to kind of focus on it and go into depth on it. Then I'll get into China surpasses Mexico in sending immigrants to California. See, so now when I'm against more than 10,000 women a week arriving to have their babies for free and be put on welfare, that's not fair. I'm anti-Chinese now. I'm not even going to play the race card here because it doesn't matter. I'm not even going to say I'm not against Asians. No, I'm against being ripped off. My sister is South Korean adopted. That's how racist I am. But see, that's how they end debate on every... you don't want to give Mexicans everything free or against Mexicans? Oh, you don't want to give Chinese everything free? I don't want to give anybody free. Bring them here and they're turned into Democrat moron socialist bots running around, complaining all day. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of corporate welfare, and I'm sick of the wars, and I'm sick of banker bailouts. I'm sick of derivatives. I'm sick of forced inoculations. I'm sick of it all.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting GoBerkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Are you prepared to bug out? Infidel Body Armor and an Army Ranger have produced a high-speed DVD and book to show you how to drive in combat, patrol, and how to survive in combat. Skills you'll need when it hits the fan. Go to DrivenDVD.com. DrivenDVD.com.
Advertising your business with GCN is simple, effective, and more affordable than you might think. Visit advertise.gcnlive.com for more info. Take your business to the next level. That's advertise.gcnlive.com.
As the cold and flu season approaches, Silver Lungs is ready to help you and your family through the toughest of the year by supporting your immune system and overall health. From our best-selling colloidal silver generating system to our entire line of silver-based skin gels, nasal sprays, soaps, and silver solutions. Silver solutions remain one of nature's most powerful and least expensive antibacterial agents. Now you can produce your own for pennies a day in the comfort of your home using the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. Learn more today at www.silverlungs.com.
Chronic inflammation is now known to block your ability to repair and compromises your immune system, making you more vulnerable to all diseases. Since poor diet, injuries, or stress are all contributing factors, many people suffer from inflammation. Your body's #1 means of neutralizing inflammation and the pain that it may be causing is glutathione. Glutathione is the body's #1 peptide to neutralize free radicals and thus stop inflammation.
Hi, my name is Jason. I'm 44 years old. For 10 years, I had been suffering from chronic pain in my abdomen and groin that radiated down into my feet. After 3 weeks on One World Way, the pain in my feet reduced by 50%, and the overall pain in my body reduced significantly as well. I ran out of One World Way, and the pain returned. I got another container, and again, after 3 weeks, the pain reduced significantly throughout my body. I'd highly recommend One World Way to anyone dealing with chronic pain due to inflammation.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldway.com. That's oneworld, WHEY.com.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
You want to talk about getting a brainstorm. I was talking to Rob Dew. We were up here working last night after the show. Because we're so obsessed with the New World Order. I mean, how could you not be? This thing openly says it's going to set up a planetary government, incrementally cut off resources, set up a technological system where it's impossible for humans to be self-sufficient, and then use that to incrementally play human groups off against each other until they get us into compact reservations and then wipe us out. It's the equivalent of aliens landing on the planet and carrying this out. I mean, it's not aliens, but it might as well be. It's so epic. And I said, listen, I know we got big files in here, but just print me the latest geoengineering admissions and this new climate treaty and the rest of it. And I'm going to cover it tomorrow. And then during the show, I've been looking at these stacks of news, which are tiny compared to all the patents and all the admissions. I mean, we've done this before. And I was here looking at it. And it's like my heart dropped. Like, you know, that feeling of just falling out of your body. It's beyond going over a bump in the road and you feel your stomach. It's like your heart does that. You just come to grips with something so big, so cold, so admitted, and you know it's real, and you know it's true. I'm going to cover this now and then go to your calls. That way I'm not hurrying with the calls. And I just looked at each article, and you could just see the rollout. You could see the plan. The plan's admitted. You read the article. Some of them new. It's exactly what you knew would be in the article. Because the articles are all the same. It's all these writers from the U.S., England, Russia, Germany, Europe, all saying the exact same thing. It's all meant to slowly roll it out. They go, oh, we might start geoengineering. Here's how we do it. Oh, it's just what the planes already do. How magic. Oh, we happen to have patents. Oh, we happen to already be testing that. That's in the news. Now, the BBC says, oh, the chemicals we spray are going to give you Alzheimer's and kill you, but it's for a greater good. And you just read that, you go, man, do the writers of this following orders even know what they're taking part in? I'm going to say this. Most adults that are 40 years old or so, I believe most of you will watch your children die. Because I've studied in the rat studies and others, they've sprayed aluminum on them. They've done everything. They've already tested it on rodents. Because their life cycle's quicker. They can get them deeper. And I know exactly what's in store for us. In fact, I made projections in my mind years ago on this, went and checked the research that I knew was already out there, and my analysis was dead on. That's what I do. I thin slice intelligence, is what they call it. I have actually a sickening gift for it. It's torture. Because everything I look at, I basically understand it, I know it, and I can't handle it. It's really hard. It's really hard to look at this stuff because I've already looked at it all, and it makes me sick when I look at it again. Because I can't get the word out to people. I can't stop these people. You got to be strong, folks, and take action yourselves. I mean, I read them rolling out the geoengineering, the spraying us with radioactive isotopes, barium, aluminum dioxide, radium. And every time I turn on the History Channel or Discovery Channel or something, they're like going, we could spray the skies to protect the earth. We could. And I already know they had a Nobel Prize for it in the early 90s. They were testing it since the 60s. They went global in the 90s. They're killing us. They're killing the insects. I mean, we're being murdered. And I've got friends that do TV shows about it and make fun of me. And once they've said that it isn't real and isn't happening, they're never going to go back and say it isn't happening. Because they go and they show kooks that think every airplane spraying something, or they think an ice cream, Sure, there's an extreme that, thinks stuff's going on that isn't. But why wouldn't there be a whacked out extreme when crazy stuff's going on? When the system's crazy and evil, what do you think the people are going to be like? They're going to be all different flavors of nuts. But here's the BBC. Geoengineering climate fixes could harm billions. And the article admits that what they spray in their proposed climate fixes, which is exactly what we catch them spraying. See, they tell you it's coming when it's already here. They tell you they're going to bring in 10,000 Syrians when there's already 2 million here. That's right, 2 million in the last 5 years. And then it's kind of actually slowed down. It's only 200-something thousands in the last year or so. But here it is. Geoengineering climate fixes could harm billions. Now we're going to come back. That's BBC. Folks might have heard of that. With them announcing, oh, we're going to do it. Oh, guess what was in the climate agreement? Let's quote non-binding from Paris, but still they just do it. Guess what's in it? Oh, legalizing weather warfare. They repealed the 1978 UN Act. Get ready, folks. They're coming after everybody.
We're on the march. The Empire is on the run.
They are about to intensify spraying.
Alex Jones.
Get ready. It is going to be bad.
Thanks to the Federal Reserve System, America's economy is in a terminal decline. And according to economic expert Michael Snyder, here's 8 facts that reveal just how bad the economy really is. Number 1, the majority of all American workers bring home less than $30,000 a year in wages. Number 2, the poorest 40% of all Americans now spend most of their incomes just on food and housing. Number 3, at least 50% of Americans who rent their homes spend more than a third of their incomes on the rent. Number 4, incomes keep declining for a large majority of the U.S. population. Number 5, the price of ground beef has more than doubled since 2009. Number 6, the rate of home ownership in the U.S. has been declining for at least 7 years in a row. It's now the lowest that it's been in 20 years. Number 7, almost half of all Americans are not saving their money, and it's been estimated that 62% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Number 8, 1/3 of all Americans with student loans are currently behind on their student loan debt. Check out Infowars.com for more economic news and also our new YouTube channel, Resistance News. This is Kit Daniels reporting.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market. Extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy to use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. InfoWars Life and InfoWarsLife.com is extremely excited to announce our latest release, Winter Sun, a revolutionary type of vitamin D3. Winter Sun is a premium quality vitamin D3 nutritional supplement. It is produced by extracting oil from healthy, nutrient-dense plants known as lichens. Every batch is analyzed for purity and D3 content. It's completely free of toxins and allergens. Simply put, if you want the best at an extremely low price, this is it. Winter Sun is the result of our pursuit of the best source of vitamin D3. The research and development took over 2 years, but the result, as verified by independent laboratories, is the best vegan vitamin D3 product in the world. Read the facts at InfoWarsLife.com about Winter Sun Vitamin D3. Not only does vitamin D3 promote a healthy mood, but vitamin D supports our memory and brain function, something the globalists are targeting. Visit InfoWars.com today or call 888-253-3139. All right, I'm going to get into the geoengineering here, and then your phone calls, and then the other news that I haven't hit yet.
What do you mean I hurt you?
I ought to get Dave Mustaine back on the show. You know, I could, but all hell broke loose last time he was on. Same thing with everybody else that's famous that comes on the show. People call up and threaten them and then try to take things away from them. That's the real intimidation that goes on within the system. MSNBC's Brzezinski, white men with guns, greater threat than ISIS. That's a great headline. Actually, that is exactly what's happening. Paul Watson wrote a story. MSNBC host responds to criticism of radical Islam by blaming white men with guns. 2 different articles up on Infowars.com. DrudgeReport.com is linked to one of our stories where the radical Islamists are saying, video after video, we're coming to get your women, we're coming to take over your culture, we're coming to spread Islam, you will submit, basically. I'm going to get back into the geoengineering here in a moment, and I'm going to do a produce report in the new year, but now's the time. I do it now, I do it today, but this is kind of a dead zone media-wise in the year when the reports we put out don't have as big an effect. You can decide to share our reports even more and get more aggressive, and that won't be the case. But for media in general, this is a sluggish time. It's such a big deal to have Seymour Hersh come out and say, okay, I've talked to top generals. They're actually feeding Assad info to stop Obama and the neocons from putting al-Qaeda in charge. I mean, I knew a lot of that was going on, but whoa, that's big. I will do a special report on that after the show today for the Nightly News, 7 o'clock Central. And then to have this geoengineering come out in a whole bunch of articles, kind of like you wake up and there's 30, 40 different journalists, syndicated columnists, Rachel Maddow alone, 300 plus, was pushing 400 articles attacking me last week. It was one story she wrote, but it was in hundreds of major newspapers. It was in the local paper. People that I knew came up to me about it. They said, you didn't say there's, again, big giant wasp under the UN building. I mean, they know, but people that don't actually believe I'm a raving loon. And then, again, this weekend, there's suddenly articles everywhere. Hey, geoengineering's going on with the jet trails. Did you know? Oh, it's an accident. But, oh, they just signed a treaty last week legalizing it. Oh, that's why we just now told you about it. And then, oh, yeah, they kind of knew before and are putting it in the fuel. Yeah, it's a little toxic to people, but it's for the earth. That's what I'm reading here. I mean, it's just like the way they play the public, and now I'm going to have people at grocery stores and stuff because I make fun of me. Oh, are the jets spraying me? Are the black helicopters coming to get me? That's what I always hear. Or are the aliens going to get me? Or the black helicopters or the WASP people? You know, the few folks, I'll be in a restaurant, somebody will walk over and knock my glass over and go, shame on you, racist. Or, are the aliens going to get me? You know, something like that. I just laugh back at them. And now I have to hear him going, of course there's some geoengineering, kook. You're not one of the people that revolutionary exposed it all. You're a kook because it's true. You get a black eye because you were right. You're even funnier. And I don't get mad at those people because they're making fun of me. I get mad at the globalists that they've programmed them and jacked their brains so hard that subconsciously they're terrified of the truth. And so they've got this emotional salve, this emotional cream, where they say everything's okay and that I'm a kook, I'm a liar, you're a kook, you're a liar, so everything's okay. Oh, Donald Trump, you're the reason there's ISIS. Oh, really? I thought Hillary funded them and helped them rise. That's what Trump said back. And then she just shakes, devastated. I control reality. I'm history's actor. I say what is reality. Because I look like a drugged-out, dying witch or something. Let's all bow down to this blob that they shove at us. This gibbering, arrogant blob that talks to us like we're elementary students. Hello, children. Today in first grade class, we're going to practice how to line up to go to the bathroom. That's what NPR sounds like. For a bunch of pseudo-foppish intellectuals to listen to and to think about how intellectual they are. They're about as intellectual as a dead dog in the street with its eyes rotted out with fire ants crawling all over it. Bunch of fake, cowardly people who wish they were dead already. Well, here's the deal. I'm not dead. My family's not dead. And we're not rolling over. So you may get the majority of people drooling, not knowing what planet they're on. I'm not it. And my listeners aren't it. And we see you and we know who you are, filth. Briefly, before I get back into the beginning, as we told you, was coming. Oh, we just legalized spraying you. Oh, it might be a little poisonous. Oh, accidentally we were doing it. I mean, sci-fi channels on tonight. Or, there's some science fiction movies we can go watch. They're so exciting. We can watch recycled R2-D2 for the 50 millionth time. Graphics of foreign planets. But forget huge programs with them spraying you and your family to slowly kill you. It's no big deal. It's fine. In fact, I shouldn't even be upset about it. I apologize. Actually, I feel like a coward and a piece of filth that I still do enjoy my life and that I still go out and have fun knowing all this. And I look at all the zombies and feel sorry for them. But then I realize I'm not meant to fight a total takeover like this. Humans are meant to fight pretty much a frontal assault. And so I've learned how to not go crazy and just understand it's all part of a larger plan in God's view, and then I can just try to turn it off now and still be a person knowing all this. So I know why the average person doesn't want to believe any of this or doesn't want to check what I'm saying and doesn't want to go look into it, because then you'd have to actually do something about it when you found out it was true. And people don't like to feel small. And it makes you kind of feel small when you learn that you're living in a science fiction attempt to bring us into an end of days dystopia that could only come out of the mind of the devil. I get it. You want to go to your church and hear that you're all fine, about to get raptured, and feel good about yourselves and feel secure. You know, you're kind of scared deep down, but you want to get close to God, and maybe that God will protect you. God isn't going to protect anybody who doesn't put their skin on the line. God isn't gonna give you providence, isn't going to give you any of the gifts you've got to use if you don't put your butt on that line. And that's the way the universe works. And I feel sorry for you people. I want you to break your conditioning, and I want you to get involved, and I want you to understand what's happening. And I'm not talking to our amazing audience that's awake and on fire. I'm talking to the new listeners that tune in by the tens of thousands every few minutes to this broadcast. I know with the liberals and the trendies and the hipsters that my show's very popular as a form of entertainment. Oh, it'll be very entertaining till you get diagnosed with cancer at 30. It's going to be real entertaining when your girlfriend gets that tetanus shot and dies a day later and the hospital says no connection. It's going to be real funny when you have a little kid and they're 3 years old and get cancer, and then you go research the cancer numbers and find out they're over 10,000% up since 1950 in children. It's going to get real funny, isn't it? Because it's not funny. It's real. Briefly, we found this operation with high-quality products that won't protect you from a lot of what's going on. That just might make you feel a little bit better and be a little bit healthier on your bounce to the bottom under globalist annihilation. But everything we put out is bona fide to knock your socks off. That's the only thing I'd promote. You're supposed to put this under your tongue. I just like to mix up like my own little Coca-Cola, basically. A couple squirts of Super Male Vitality. I forgot to take this yesterday. So I'm going to take a little bit more today. And I could tell I was dragging a little bit today. I forgot to take my Brain Force because I ran out of the bottle at the house. So I forgot to take that this morning. So I put some Super Male in there. I put some Survival Shield X2 Nascent Iodine in there. I have been taking this judiciously. And some other stuff. I'm put some Deep Cleanse in here. Why not? I got some other stuff. Just mix it all in there together. And then I'm going to slurp this baby back. And that's what I do. And if you get Super Male and if you get X2 and you take it for a month, if you don't feel big effects, I'll eat my hat. There's a reason with the herb Nazis, I mean that in a nice way, like the soup Nazis, and with the big third-party sites were 4.8 stars and nobody else has got that. It's because we know, A, we're going to be under attack. B, we're going to be under super scrutiny. C, we want to promote really good products that are high quality because folks will like them and want to buy them again. A, B, or C, none of them are number one. It's just these are in order here. And these are game changers. I mean, they really are. You take X2 for about 2-3 weeks, though, and you've been toxic, you will probably feel like crap for a week, the third or fourth week. And then after people go through that, then it feels like you were carrying one of your kids on your shoulders up a hill. When you take them off, you feel like you're flying. That's kind of what happens. I mean, I've always been a maniac. I've always been crazed. I've always been aggressive. I've always been bouncing off the walls. This stuff made me feel like I was 20 years old again. And it's all available, still discounted. The free shipping ends tomorrow. It will end. They just haven't taken it down yet. But the specials are going to go now to the end of the year. And we do have some new products coming in a few weeks with the new year. But InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com. You can get 6 months free at PrisonPlanet.tv. See the nightly news, all my films, so much more. 20 people can use each membership. I mean, you just cannot beat a subscription deal like this. This just helps us pay for the bandwidth and some of the crew and some of the cameras. It's one of the ways we fund the operation. And as more of you sign up, notice the price goes down. I mean, we could hit some singularity where, you know, there's like a penny to sign up if we got enough people on there. I just want to pay for everything. So 6 months free, PrisonPlanet.tv. That deal's only running for a couple more weeks. PrisonPlanet.tv, InfoWarsNews.com. Take it to the same place. Takes 1 minute to sign up. PayPal, credit cards, debit cards. You can also call if you're online but don't want to use a credit card, and we can generate you a username username and code right here. So you can also call 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. All right. Let me just finish up briefly with chemtrails, and then I'm going to go to Joshua, who points out Hillary has killed journalists. Oh, yeah, a lot of Arkansas. My God, that is funny. Putin kills journalists. That's a funny one. I mean, he may have. Putin doesn't need to kill journalists, just like the Clintons don't need to. Things just happen to people. And, yeah, when Putin was fighting the Rothschilds, it's come out in court and kicking their people out. Some of them did fall down. And I'm not endorsing all of that, but you can't prove Putin did it. With Hillary, it was people like Vince Foster and newspaper people in Arkansas and the persecution of the press. I mean, it's come out in their own Clinton papers, their persecution of the press. But I digress. I'll just have to do a special report on this. I've already pretty much covered it. They're just rolling it out now. They're making it public. That, oh my goodness, jet fuel happens to create nuclei in the atmosphere at all these different altitudes and is causing these artificial cloud banks that are shielding light that's coming in and bouncing it back into space. Is it helping global warming or hurting? Well, most studies say it actually shoots through the ultraviolet, then it doesn't bounce back up, and it actually is heating the Earth. So are they trying to stop an ice age, knowing it'll kind of overheat us a little bit? Then they go, oh my God, look, we're hot. Pay us money. Now they're talking about geoengineering taxes to save the Earth. They admit the Earth is 20 to 30% darker depending on which time of year you measure it, and that's because of geoengineering. And the BBC again asked the question we've always said, it's going on, it's secret, boy, shouldn't it be public if it's so loving? And they just say, oh no, none of that exists. Geoengineering climate fixes could harm billions. Billions. And then they go through, all these metals that they're calling for spraying, aluminum dioxide, barium salts, all those other things, it could hurt humans. And this is all, and they also talk about weather patterns changing could kill us. Well, yeah, it is weather weapons. And then how do you counter when I'm exposing weather weapons and the declassified patents and the father of weather weapons coming on my show, that he's all over CNN and Fox News the next week? They just go, oh, Alex says Obama sent that tornado to Oklahoma City. Never said it. In fact, I told the lady, I didn't think that was what happened. But that's how they invert truth. In fact, I have another article right here. It's out of the Daily Beast today. Conspiracy theorists terrorize our town. InfoWars, worst humans invade Texas. We invaded Texas because I live here. Plus, we weren't there. Every word is a lie. InfoWars wasn't there. We're not the worst humans ever. We didn't invade Texas. They teach them in these disinfo schools how to just create a tissue of hate and disdain, 10 minutes of hate. Every word is a lie with how they said it next to it. Conspiracy theorists. So first they say these people you don't listen to, they ask questions, they're heretics. So conspiracy theorists terrorized our town. So then I terrorized the town that, well, the county named after Colonel Travis, who my family raised his son. And my family was involved on both sides of founding Texas. See, I've now invaded Texas. I'm now hurting it. I'm a carpetbagger. Just everything they say, pure deception. Let's continue. I'm just reading one of the paragraphs here. Conspiracy theorists terrorized our town. InfoWars, worst humans invade Texas to stage a mass shooting. We counter-protested. Oh, outnumbering them 20-1. Oh, see, I had a protest I wasn't at. I didn't put on, wasn't there. Doesn't matter. They defeated me 20-1, like I'm a pinata. They still don't believe Sandy Hook ever happened. So then they add that little in. No, we're saying there's discrepancies. The official story doesn't fit. The mock mass shooters who tried to terrorize the University of Texas at Austin were no ordinary Second Amendment advocates, it turns out. They were far-right conspiracy theorists who believed that other mass shootings, most notoriously Sandy Hook shooting, were hoaxes perpetrated by paid crisis actors. Now, why is this out this week? Because they wrote 1,000+ articles last week saying that I attack the families of Sandy Hook people when I don't do that. More straw men. So this is just all part of the directive that goes out. They took to the streets last Saturday to terrorize our community, I'm reading, into believing that by showing the gruesome violence of the staged mass shooting, replete with fake blood and all, citizens somehow should be armed with assault rifles. And then it just goes on. Where's Alex? Where is he? Where is he? Where am I? And it goes, it all started on Facebook. Just nothing. I mean, we had a story talking about the demonstration coming up. That's it. So this is how they do it. They have other people go out, and then they misrepresent what we actually did. Stay with us.
911, what is your emergency? There's somebody in my house. Hurry, please.
A home break-in happens every 22 seconds. Homes without a security system are up to 3 times more vulnerable to a burglary. That's why there's Simply Safe. In an emergency, our advanced wireless technology alerts police up to 10 times faster. And your connection to emergency services can't be cut because Simply Safe doesn't rely on landlines. Simply Safe costs less than half what traditional companies charge. Just $14.99 a month, and there's no commitment to an annual contract. Protect your family with the highest caliber security. Go now to simplysafedefense.com and get 10% off with free shipping and a 3-year warranty. Hurry, and you'll also receive a keychain remote worth $25. Try Simply Safe for a full 60 days. You'll feel confident that your family is safe or your money back. Go to simplysafedefense.com right now. simplysafedefense.com.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
We've had an amazing year here at Supernatural Silver. We've truly enjoyed the fantastic response from thousands of people as they've tried our extraordinary product, and we're thrilled at the life-changing results people have. Our company email is continually full of happy, satisfied customers who thank us for the help they've received from Supernatural Silver. This holiday season, as you think of gifts to give your loved ones, consider giving Supernatural Silver, a gift that can help provide good health and wellness, a gift that can change lives and make a real difference. In a world where we are constantly exposed to dangerous health threats, give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance. Give Supernatural Silver. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code HOLIDAY2015 for 20% off. And this holiday season, we wish you and yours the blessings of peace and good health from all of us here at supernaturalsilver.com.
All right, I want to go to some phone calls here, and I'll get more into geoengineering tomorrow. As I said I'd cover it. I covered it some, but I'm going to really just do a whole hour, I think, on it. The point is they're rolling it out. They're going public. They're going, oh, we are doing it. It's for your own good. Yeah, it's a little poisonous, but it's for the earth. And it'll kill the trees and the insects and everything, but it's all right. We care about you. But we are going to ban your fireplaces. It's bad for the earth. We're going to spray radiation particles on you. I actually have those articles here. But they are taking the gloves off now. They're not going to counter what we say or what we do. They're going to lie about us. And Donald Trump gets that. They do that to him. When they try to, they've gone to Trump in news conferences and brought us up, you know, why do you go on Alex Jones? You know, he says all this. And he goes, well, I haven't seen him say that. You say that. See, these are known liars. Don't believe a word they say is the point. They are just gutless criminals who won't have jobs soon anyways. Their whole system's dying. This is their death rattle. Jakari Jackson's coming up in the 4th hour today. The Daily Beast blames InfoWars for UT's mock mass shooting. He's going to cover that more. A woman in Vegas mows down dozens of pedestrians with her car. Yeah, is the answer running over 37 people and killing some people? Ban cars? Actually, it is. They're going to call for robot cars. See, watch out. Lindsey Graham drops out of the presidential race and more, and he'll get to some of the calls I'm not able to cover. Let's talk to Joshua in Texas. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for taking my call. I have more of a comment, really, than anything. And the comment that I wanted to make was Hillary Clinton really should be careful throwing stones in glass houses. I mean, look at Vince Foster, Britt Hume's son. I mean, and not to mention, I'm sure Big...
But she's stunning and brave, and she was like Brian Williams in combat.
No, she's a fraud and a liar, and what she is, and she belongs in prison.
Buddy, that's hate speech according to Facebook. You just said something bad about a woman, boy.
Oh, well, then I guess they're just going to have to report me and censor me. Oh, oops, they already do that.
No, but great point. I mean, how many dead journalists behind the Clintons? I mean, this is a murder crew.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of them. But that was just the point that I wanted to make, Alex.
God bless you. Really good points, my friend. Let's talk to Trucker in Massachusetts. Then we'll go to John in Texas. Trucker.
Hey, Alex. Peace sells. I'm buying. I've got a bunch under my tree, and I hope you do too, my friend.
You talking about boom booms?
No, I'm talking about that Megadeth that you were playing before. Peace sells and who's buying, and I am buying.
Well, that's awesome. Absolutely. Well, I remember listening to Megadeth in junior high, that very song. So what's on your mind, brother?
All right, listen. I have been a registered independent since Ross Perot, and I have always worn that with pride, but there have been times like when I was living in Florida where I could not vote in the Republican primary because I was an independent. So I am putting it out there and trying to urge all independents and libertarians who want to get against the establishment to change their party affiliation to Republican, at least through the primaries and caucuses.
Absolutely.
So that we can vote and really stack the deck against this.
Exactly, because the globalists have their full defense to block a Tea Party patriot takeover of the Republican Party. That's their weakest point, so we should obviously attack there. I mean, this is a war, and we should, everybody, Democrats, you name it. If you're sick of this stuff, folks, you need to get in there and vote for Rand Paul, Donald Trump, you name it. Anybody better than the mob boss Hillary Clinton? I mean, really, Democrats, are you really going to vote for somebody for the gimmick? She's a woman when she wants World War III with Russia. I mean, this has got to stop.
Well, I'm telling you, when you have these polls where Trump is up by 27 points or whatever with registered Republicans, imagine if the registered independents and libertarians and Democrats
exactly, but imagine him in a debate. He will eat her alive. He will chew her up. It will be... all she needs is bravado that stand before me. I'm a pot-bellied witch. I can hardly talk and hardly stand. Everyone just falls down. Oh, you're a woman. Oh, you're so powerful. Oh, you brag about killing people you didn't physically kill. What a witch. You know, you're so tough. I mean, he would just get in there and just annihilate her. It would just be like King Kong attacking a legless pig or something. All right, God bless you. We'll be back with the 4th hour with Jakari Jackson, but I'm going to take a few more calls. Infowars.com/show. Stay with us. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Brain Force is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more focused, less brain fog, more energy, and it's because of Brain Force.
There's always hidden additives in your food. Even organic food has hidden additives. Staring at the computer all day, working, doing good, you're still damaging your brain. Ultimately, we've all been dumbed down to some degree.
It doesn't have stimulants. It doesn't have garbage in it. It has natural things that do it clean. You will find Brain Force and other game-changing products at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Let's go to John in Texas. John, you're on the air. God bless you. Thank you for calling today. Merry Christmas. Go ahead.
Same to you, Alex. You know, a few days ago, there was another website that had a picture of Angela Merkel as a teenager marching along in formation with her Communist Youth League uniform on, looking as happy as all get out.
I've seen that before. Tell me the website you saw it on.
Oh, it was on Rents.com.
Well, we ought to put a link to that. I've seen that. I've seen that before. Yeah, Merkel's parents were admittedly communist. She's a horrible creature.
And ain't a lot of the other EU members supposedly former communists?
Good point. So are you saying Putin's really a communist? I see that on the screen.
I don't know. Like Donald Trump, I'm slowly coming around to Donald Trump, and I'm slowly coming around to Vladimir Putin from like Jesse being there and what he said and other things I've read on that I'm slowly coming around that he's really trying to build America of the 1950s, what I grew up in, what he's trying to build. And
well, that's actually what, from the evidence, Putin's doing. I mean, they literally are promoting men and women together. They are promoting the family. They're promoting women being strong, men being strong. They got tax incentives for it. Look, here's the deal. Russia's in shambles. The globalists basically destroyed it. They took it over. And, what if there was a liberty coup against the KGB? What if freedom was sexier than tyranny? And I'm not saying Russia is either or. Russia is at least fighting for its life. America thinks it's on top and is dead already. Now, politically, we can rise like the phoenix, but that's really what it comes down to, brother. We are the command base. We're run by the New World Order, who hates us even more than Russia. And Russia doesn't exist in the future world government situation. They're going to double-cross Russia with China. Top experts agree with me on that. And it's not that Russia's perfect. It's that the Russian elites have kicked the foreign oligarchs out, the Federal Reserve Bank's out. The globalists put the communists in for 80 years. That fell. It was kind of a staged deal. The globalists had deals with their old leaders, but they couldn't keep control. New groups came in who at least set themselves up as the new oligarchs and threw out the foreign oligarchs. So I don't romanticize the fact that, everything's perfect over there, but they got strong men over there that are actually about building the country up. And if leaders weren't pure devil worshipers, why wouldn't a strong man want to have a big, strong, powerful, successful country? That's more to skim off the top. That's why the globalists are truly evil, in that they just want to hurt prosperity and they want to hurt good people. They want to come after our health, our minds, our souls. In fact, we ought to come in with Jakari's intro with that song, We Want Your Soul. I forget who did the song, Nico, but Nico likes it. He put it in there. I like the song too, because that's it. Russia doesn't want to commit suicide and kill all its people. Russia has like 1.6 birth rates. It was like 1.2 at the fall of the Soviet Union. It was put in there to kill the Russians, to give them bad leaders, to make them desperate, to destroy their dreams. They never had freedom under the czars. And they went from one tyranny to something 5 times worse. So Russia's fighting for its soul right now. So they got George Soros over there trying to give them modern hippy-dippy liberalism. He's like, we'll give you freedom. We'll teach your 5-year-olds how to give a blowjob. Excuse my French. And Putin and them said, you know what? You keep that over there, you Nazi collaborator. You crawl in your hole and you die. So the media all yells and screams. They're trying to overthrow Putin. That's what's going on.
A Syrian refugee admitted his main goal is not to escape war or ISIS persecution, but to convert Europeans to Islam. He said, quote, "My main goal for leaving Syria is to lead the people to the acceptance of Islam. I swear by Allah that I only came here for this one goal. I have observed that they are curious and willing to get to know Islam through us." And he's not the only one. Influential Shia recently gave a speech in which he encouraged radical Muslims to use the migrant crisis to, quote, breed with Europeans and conquer their countries. But this modern-day Islamic conquest is not just happening only in Europe. Here in the U.S., radical Muslims are building their own Islamic compounds and communities while telling Christians and other non-Muslims to keep out. And these communities are rapidly expanding. In fact, the Obama administration has admitted nearly 400 Syrian refugees into the U.S. since the November 13th Paris attacks, and only one of them is a Christian. But Christians comprise about 10% of the population in Syria. So why isn't the Obama administration allowing more Christian refugees into the U.S.? I'll let you decide. This is Kit Daniels with Infowars.com.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market. Extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Clean, pure drinking water. You can't survive without it. But where do you get it? Alexa Pure Pro is a brand new, groundbreaking, gravity-fed water filtration system that is like no other. The Alexa Pure Pro transforms water from virtually any fresh source into clean, healthy drinking water, pairing the unprecedented superfiltration power of an all-new gravity block core with a hybrid chromatic shell. It removes up to 99.999% of impurities, including bacteria, viruses, fluoride, disinfectants, volatile organic contaminants, and hormones. Filter capacity up to 5,000 gallons. Stainless steel construction, easy assembly, low maintenance. Replacement filters are simple to install. And now, as part of an exclusive limited time introductory offer, you can save $20 off the retail price and get free shipping. This is a limited time offer, so order your unit today and receive free shipping and $20 off. Go to InfoWarsStore.com or call 888-253-3139.
And welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm your host for this hour, Jakari Jackson. This is the InfoWars Overdrive segment. Now, coming up this hour, we're going to talk about a lot of different things. The Daily Beast is blaming Infowars.com for the mock mass shooting that happened a couple weeks ago at UT, even though we had nothing to do with it. Reporting on something and promoting it are two completely different things. For example, bless you, Leanne. Leanne McAdoo's in studio over here. I was saying promoting and reporting on an event are two completely different things. For example, a couple years ago, I went out to South by Southwest after they had a guy drive on the sidewalk and kill a bunch of different people. Now, people with any lick of common sense understand by my being there, I was not encouraging anybody to go out and drive drunk and hit people on the sidewalk. But when it comes to this thing like UT, where Leanne went out there, they're saying that she was promoting it and doing all these other things, even though she was just telling people that it was going on. But I digress. I'm not going to get into that right at this moment. Also, a woman in Vegas mowed down some people, did a similar thing to what happened at South by Southwest. And Lindsey Graham drops out of the presidential race. And then I'm sure we all are crying our eyes out because we cannot just blow up the universe to kill ISIS like Lindsey Graham wants to do. Now, did we lose a caller, guys? Because we had a caller who was holding for over an hour. He dropped. Okay, well, you were just about to get on.
Sorry about that, Truth Raider.
I was about to go hot to you, man. That's why I was stalling for time, but we see you dropped off. So I guess we now can get into this Daily Beast article. And we have the headline here, Leanne. You actually went out there and covered the event. Conspiracy theorists terrorized our town. InfoWars' worst humans invaded Texas to stage a mass shooting. We counter-protested, outnumbered them 20-1, and they still don't believe that Sandy Hook ever happened. Now, first, they're saying that we promoted an event we had nothing to do with. We were actually criticized in some alternative media sites because we didn't promote it. And now they just threw this on the end that they still don't believe that Sandy Hook ever happened. I'll go ahead and say on the record right now for the hacks at the Daily Beast, I do believe people were shot and killed at Sandy Hook. Now, there are some anomalies that I consider in the story, whether the guy was going back and forth to his car to switch out a rifle for a shotgun, how they called in helicopters before they called in the Well, they called in porta potties before they called in the helicopters, and there was
going on at the same time.
Yeah, and there are some things about it that were odd to me, but none of those things make me say that nobody died. So at Daily Beast, you're just a bunch of hacks for putting that out there. I don't believe.
Well, the writer who did this article was actually the gentleman that was featured in my video.
Yes.
So this Andrew Dobbs, he's the one that was putting on the mass farting drill.
The mass farting drill.
Yes.
And I love this in here, Leanne. Like they take another shot at us for Sandy Hook and all this stuff. And then the guy, the author, the gentleman that you spoke to in the video, he is so proud. He put this in here. He was talking about InfoWars comes out here and they're promoting this event and blah, blah, blah. And we farted in their faces. He actually put this here. I don't know if you guys got the doc cam or whatever. And we farted in their faces. Now, Leanne, you were there. Did anybody fart in your face?
Nobody farted in my face.
Now that we've established that nobody ever farted in somebody's face.
Whipping a dildo around going.
Yeah. So now
with reason.
Now that we've established that, even if they did fart in somebody's faces, I cannot fathom a grown man taking so much pride in farting in somebody's faces. Like if I was attacked by ISIS and I beat them down with if I beat up like 10 ISIS jihadis with my bare hands, right? Like straight up Rambo. And I wouldn't drop down and fart in somebody's face because grown men don't do that. And there's another thing I want to point out here in this article. And even though we were there, and they admit in the article that there were reporters from every major news network and major national daily newspaper, and even the notorious conspiracy news site InfoWars, owned by local Austinite Alex Jones. So even though there were multiple people there from multiple agencies who all reported on the same thing, our being there in the author's eyes is our promoting or hosting the event.
Right. So, I obviously went on Twitter and said, look, man, your research team sucks because we had nothing to do with this. And if you actually go and find out, who was promoting that event, they were upset that we didn't go and cover this. And, of course, he didn't apologize. I'm sure there will be no retraction issues.
No.
That's just the point of just showing how easily you'll have these entities in the media out there that'll just print whatever they want, issue no retraction, don't clear anything up. And even though InfoWars didn't have anything to do with it, Rachel Maddow will come out and say that Alex said wasps live under the White House, so it doesn't matter. They'll report whatever.
Yeah, and I don't want to spend all day on this because I know you got some other news, but I want to go to this last point I have here, guys, if maybe we can do the doc cam. And he says, I had a hard time believing that these guys had spent weeks stringing the media along only to do the main event at a time and place where the media would miss it. Now, so this is my challenge to the Daily Beast or anybody who chooses to criticize us about this, whether it be, MSNBC or anybody else. If we spent weeks planning this event, I want you to go back and document on the InfoWars Nightly News, through special reports, the Alex Jones Show, us promoting this event. The only thing you will find is a hot topic, a little news thing that Leanne did about it. Once again, it was not promoting the event. It was just a news segment saying that it was happening. They did the same thing on Fox and on any number of these newspapers or other things. They just said it was going on. That was in no way, shape, or form a promotion of the event. So there is your task.
Well, and we specifically, I asked you about it because the Second Amendment, that's your beat, and that's why I wanted to know if you were going to be out there covering it. And I really didn't know who was putting it on. I had no issue with it either way. I just thought the news story would be that there are going to be people protesting with fart blasters and sexual implements, right?
Dildos, dildos.
To me, that was more of the story. But then once I was out there, I ran into Michael Cargill, who was so upset that this event was put. He actually went to this event specifically to go and speak to people about what campus carry was really about. It has already been passed, and people worked tirelessly to get it passed. And he felt that this was making a huge mockery of the people who were trying to get campus carry passed, because it has nothing to do with arming your average Joe so that he can take out a mass shooter at a school. It was about self-defense and protecting yourself because, as you know, Michael Cargill has a personal story with that.
Yes.
So
okay, so that's all the time I'm going to spend on that. But once again, to anybody who wants to demonize us further for this event, please go through and find all these non-existent clips and find some way to blame it for us as well. All right, now, Leanne, I got a lot of news, but I know you also have some news as well.
Yes, well, the top of the drudge today was how Obama was pulling the race card with Trump and basically accusing Trump of exploiting working class fears. And this was in a radio interview. It aired Monday night. And he said that that the Republicans are basically playing on blue-collar workers' fears and, because of the trouble in the economy that they've had and everything. And so they're just really upset about how they're going to, pay their rent and everything like that. Well, the real threat that isn't even an exploitation of fears, it's an actual exploitation of the American people, is this omnibus bill that was majority, this was like the big Christmas present to the Democrats. This is what's really going to affect blue-collar workers, everyone, because it's going to triple the amount of H-2B visas that are given. And these are not the tech workers. That's the H-1B visa. This is H-2. These people are exclusively brought in to fill blue-collar jobs, non-farm jobs, hotels, restaurants, construction, truck driving, and many other occupations that millions of Americans would love to do. So here, this is the same thing, whereas the media just comes out accusing one group of doing something when they're the ones that are actually wrecking and really, truly threatening blue-collar workers.
Yeah, and, people know I'm not on the Trump campaign. I'm not a supporter of his, but when you want to talk about Obama coming after Trump, as far as I know, Trump has never promised a black woman a house and then never gave it to her.
Right.
So you got that on your thing to get over first, Mr. Obama. Well,
and also, too, Obama pulled the race card and said that, probably a lot of people are voting for Trump and upset because he's the first African-American president. So basically saying that the Republicans or people who support Trump or whatever are just racist. Meanwhile, if you look at the GOP, the candidates, up until just about a month ago, Ben Carson was at the top. So clearly Republicans are not afraid of having another black president.
Yeah, he had some controversy, Carson did, and that definitely took him down in the polls. But, he was up there even at a point. I think they're kind of teasing maybe a Trump-Carson ticket. I'm not sure where that is now, but that was at least mentioned at one point.
Right. So that right there is just like, you can't pull the race card. You can't say that Republicans are anti-women. There's a woman there running. So it's ridiculous. And once again, it's just, if people don't go and do their research and see if there's a counter argument, they're just going to run with whatever is being pushed out there, whatever narrative is being said. Oh, well, the GOP is racist and they hate the first black American president. And it's just not true.
Yeah, well, there's a running joke that Clinton was the first black president. I guess that's a whole nother thing. What else do you have, Leanne?
Well, speaking of Clinton and, just more lies if you don't do your own research. So in this Democratic debate, Hillary Clinton made this claim that ISIS is using videos of Donald Trump to recruit. And she said he is becoming ISIS's best recruiter. Well, of course, people dug around and they're like, well, Donald Trump isn't in any ISIS recruitment videos. But guess who is?
Oh?
Bill Clinton.
Oh,
Bill
Slick
Clinton.
Willie.
Oh, Slick Willie is in ISIS videos being labeled as the fornicator. So he is actually being used to recruit for ISIS by saying, look at how messed up America is. They got the one president who's a fornicator. President Obama and George W. Bush are also in it. They're liars. They have an ineffectual military. So
just, I'm not vouching for Trump or anything, but the simple fact that he could have possibly been in one was enough for her to come out and attack him on it, even though she has the whole Benghazi scandal, which nobody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to talk about the emails, but we've seen Ambassador Stevens sending the cables months before his death, and then leading up to his death, they didn't give him more security. They took security away while she's out, signing autographs at, female colleges and all that stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying you need to do your due diligence and make sure that you guys don't die.
Well, exactly. And she was asked about Libya, or it came up in this debate as well, but she dodged that question twice, and she kind of threw it back. Well, Sanders, you voted for regime change as well, and, a lot of those people probably voted for that on her word because she was the Secretary of State at the time, probably saying this is what needs to happen, and laughed, of course. We came, we saw, he died.
Yeah, in Turkey?
Yeah, Turkey.
Well, thank you so much, Leanne. We'll be back in the next segment. We're going to talk about the driver in Vegas who drove on the sidewalk and killed many innocent people. Stay tuned. This is The Alex Jones Show.
We've had an amazing year here at Supernatural Silver. We've truly enjoyed the fantastic response from thousands of people as they've tried our extraordinary product, and we're thrilled at the life-changing results people have. Our company email is continually full of happy, satisfied customers who thank us for the help they've received from Supernatural Silver. This holiday season, as you think of gifts to give your loved ones, consider giving Supernatural Silver, a gift that can help provide good health and wellness, a gift that can change lives and make a real difference. In a world where we are constantly exposed to dangerous health threats, give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance. Give Supernatural Silver. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code HOLIDAY2015 for 20% off. And this holiday season, we wish you and yours the blessings of peace and good health from all of us here at supernaturalsilver.com.
Over the years, there have been a lot of powerful advancements in the field of science and nutraceuticals. Longevity integrates years of scientific research into creating fantastic products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, plant-derived minerals, and much more. Longevity also offers you an ingenious way to augment your income. And the best part, you'll be helping your friends and family along the way. Visit InfoWarsTeam.com today. Become a member. Get discounts on the amazing products and free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip. And you're able to promote the products to friends and family and neighbors in your community and make money while helping people at the same time. Another win-win. That's why I'm a member of the longevity team at InfoWarsTeam.com, and you can be too. It's simple. Just go to InfoWarsTeam.com today. Complete a short sign-up and you're part of the team. That's InfoWarsTeam.com or InfoWarsHealth.com. So many people call into my radio show and tell me how longevity and the products at InfoWarsTeam.com have changed their lives. Check it out for yourself today.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
Winter has just begun, and are you already tired of being cold? How would you like to never be cold again? This is Dale with Fortress Clothing, and I'm here to tell you, you will never be cold again with Fortress. If you're tired of freezing your butt off, elk hunting, sitting in a tree stand, deer hunting, winter camping, fishing, ice fishing, no longer fear the cold. If you snowmobile, ski, snowboard, get Fortress. Sledding with the kids, shoveling the walks, shopping, or if you or your spouse get cold feet at home, get Fortress. If you're stuck outside working in the cold or find yourself in an emergency situation, get our winter bug out bag and you will never be cold again. Fortress is the answer, so quit complaining and go to FortressClothing.com. It's a mid-layer garment that goes with anything you want to wear. Enter coupon code RADIO and get 20% off any item. Go now while we still have inventory. FortressClothing.com.
And welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm your host for this hour, Jakari Jackson. I want to remind you about the free shipping available in the InfoWars shop. That free shipping ends today. So if you want to get the great products, you want to get X2, you want to get Super Male Vitality, Silver Bullet, all the great things, Oxy Powder. This is the last day for free shipping. And you can also get the Hillary for Prison t-shirts, the hats, the DVDs, the InfoWars Power Pack. I just bought that, the thing that you keep in your vehicle. You know, the cold weather is coming. It's not consistently cold here in Austin, but it does get cold some days. And also the G-Shock watch. I got a great watch from the guys at Head Down. Thank you for that. The optics, all that great stuff available at the InfoWars shop. And this is the last day for free shipping. Now I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the horrific tragedy this past weekend in Las Vegas, where a motorist decided to drive on the sidewalk. We have reports of 1 dead, 37 injured, and, you know, many of those people in the hospital, they could slip away potentially. 37 injured after a car plows into a crowd in Las Vegas. Let's go ahead and run this clip, and then we'll come back with some commentary.
This is a huge tragedy that has occurred on our strip.
Breaking overnight, a massive and deadly hit and run on the famous Las Vegas Strip.
We have determined that this is an intentional act.
Police say a female driver in her 20s ran her vehicle up onto the sidewalk, bustling with tourists, twice, possibly 3 times, plowing into nearly 40 people between Planet Hollywood and Paris Resort and Casino. The fatal incident unfolding while the Miss Universe pageant was underway inside Planet Hollywood.
She is in the detention center right now. She's speaking to detectives.
The suspect, speeding off with a 3-year-old toddler inside, was quickly apprehended by police less than a mile away. Investigators believe she's not a Las Vegas native, but say this is not an act of terrorism.
So it's very interesting to me, and it really shows you the state of the world, how this event can happen. But the only thing that I see on the news today, if I go to the news aggregates, is how Steve Harvey messed up the name of one of the participants. You know, nothing against Steve, you know, like his comedy and all that stuff. But, you know, you have 37 people injured, 1 dead, and they just want to talk about the Miss Universe pageant. No, this is a much more important story. And as I alluded to earlier in our broadcast, you know, these things happen. It happened here in Austin, South by Southwest. A guy was fleeing from the Austin Police Department. He decided to drive on the sidewalk. I believe hit 20 or so people, many of whom died. And when we have horrible incidents like this, you know, people, they really want to figure out what the root of the problem is. Nobody's going to call to ban cars, or at least nobody with common sense is going to call to ban cars. They understand this is a mentally disturbed individual. They took these actions upon themselves, and they need to be held accountable for it. It wasn't the car's fault. It wasn't, you know, anybody else's fault except for the driver. Now, I do believe we have testimony from one of the bystanders. A gentleman was out there, and he saw the whole thing happen, and he has some words to say about it.
A Buick Oldsmobile type car, tan, maybe silver, starts just mowing through people, and people are flying and yelling at it, and the windows crashed out on the front of the car, mainly just mowing through. Like, what I saw was like children, because the kids weren't moving, you know, they didn't get out of the way. And then the car proceeded to go past us, right in front of us, through the people, and then off to the right. I look, and it's going toward like a truck or something that's pulling out of right past Monami Gabi, which is in front of Paris. And the car proceeded to slow down, veer around it, and then accelerate again into the people on the sidewalk.
So there's absolutely no question in your mind that the woman driving that car was trying to hit people.
Yeah, just like as the commentator is saying there, it definitely seems that this was an intentional act. At this point, they don't want to call it an act of terrorism. Like I said, I don't know too much about the person. At this point, I believe they were going to arraign her today, so maybe there are some additional reports. But yeah, you know, these horrible things happen, and, you know, the answer isn't ban this, ban that. You know, banning whatever wouldn't have stopped this lady from doing what she chose to do in this very unfortunate incident. Now, with the time we have, I want to talk about Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham, I'm sure he's your favorite presidential candidate. I know David Knight loves him some Lindsey Graham. Just joking. David hates Lindsey Graham with a very feverish passion. Lindsey Graham, the guy who wants to pretty much blow up the entire universe to rid the world of ISIS, has dropped out of the presidential campaign, and I'm not shedding a single tear about it. Good riddance to you, Lindsey Graham. You can go back to doing whatever it is that you do, as long as it's not being president of the United States. And it's not to say that I love the other contenders. You know, Lindsey is one of many contenders I don't like. I don't like Chris Christie talking so cavalier about shooting down Russian jets. And like I said, I'm not up here apologizing for Putin or anything, but he's talking about shooting down jets like he's duck hunting or something, or shooting skeet. Yeah, I'm shoot them all down. You know, I'm Chris Christie. You know, I've never served a day in my life. I'm just going to start a war and put your kids at risk. So stay tuned after this break. We'll come back with a special report from John Bound. We'll be taking your calls on any manner of subjects that you want to talk about. So stay tuned. This is the Alex Jones Show. I'm your host, Shakari Jackson, on the InfoWars Overdrive Hour.
Thanks to the Federal Reserve System, America's economy is in a terminal decline. And according to economic expert Michael Snyder, here's 8 facts that reveal just how bad the economy really is. Number 1, the majority of all American workers bring home less than $30,000 a year in wages. Number 2, the poorest 40% of all Americans now spend most of their incomes just on food and housing. Number 3, at least 50% of Americans who rent their homes spend more than a third of their incomes on the rent. Number 4, incomes keep declining for a large majority of the U.S. population. Number 5, The price of ground beef has more than doubled since 2009. Number 6. The rate of home ownership in the U.S. has been declining for at least 7 years in a row. It is now the lowest that it's been in 20 years. Number 7. Almost half of all Americans are not saving their money, and it's been estimated that 62% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Number 8. 1/3 of all Americans with student loans are currently behind on their student loan debt. Check out Infowars.com for more economic news and also our new YouTube channel, Resistance News. This is Kit Daniels reporting.
In the 15-year history of PrisonPlanet.tv, we have never offered 6 months free at Christmas. We've always offered 5 months free. But since I announced 6 free months a few days ago, we have seen record numbers of signups. PrisonPlanet.tv began 15 years ago. It's grown into InfoWars, Nightly News, and so much more. All of my documentary films, scores of ebooks, and other exclusive documentaries are available for streaming or download in HD at PrisonPlanet.tv. You don't just get 6 months free when you sign up from Christmas through New Year's. You also get to share that membership with up to 20 people simultaneously using your username. You can also sign up for a trial month and only pay $5.95, and then 20 of you and your friends and family can watch PrisonPlanet.tv. Get 20 memberships at half price. Be the Paul Revere in your community. That's 6 months free when you sign up for a year at PrisonPlanet.tv. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Brain Force is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more focused, less brain fog, more energy, and it's because of Brain Force.
There's always hidden additives in your food. Even organic food has hidden additives. Staring at the computer all day, working, doing good, you're still damaging your brain. Ultimately, we've all been dumbed down to some degree.
It doesn't have stimulants. It doesn't have garbage in it. It has natural things that do it clean. You will find Brain Force and other game-changing products at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
Some of your calls now. We're going to intersperse them going back and forth. We have Jeff in New York. You want to talk about geoengineering. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hi, Shikari. I have two things to say, actually. First of all, long-time listener, first-time caller. But there was a project that was done by an Alternative Medical Practitioners Association out in the Midwest in a specialized field where specialized zones were set up. It was a neutral area where a number of collection dishes were set up. The field was monitored for the 48-hour collection period, and overhead is a major Western flight path. So after 48 hours, the sterile collection bottles were collected, and then these bottles were put through biochemical analyzers. And what we found was absolutely horrific and terrifying. Human herpes virus 6. Mycoplasma pneumonia, barium, all these substances are not normal to being airborne that way and having a sterile collection environment. So to say that geoengineering is not happening is absolutely a farce and certainly not true. We see it happening.
All right, well, thank you so much, Jeff. Yeah, I know Alex is planning to do some more on this latest geoengineering report, not necessarily what you were talking about, but how some of these other agencies are now talking about. Thank you for calling, Jeff. All right, let's go now to Scott in Nebraska. You want to talk about MK Ultra. Go ahead, Scott.
Well, if you can make it up to Lincoln, Nebraska, I can give you the name and address of a guy that says he was MK Ultra, and they programmed him to go shoot up the school. They've also got a fusion center here.
What school are you talking about?
A school, just a regular school, an elementary school of some sort.
So you're saying he's planning to do this, or what's going on here?
No, I'm saying he was programmed to do this, and I've got the guy's name. That they shipped him basically to go shoot up the school, and he ended up in a park someplace with his Beretta and 5 magazines full of ammo.
All right, well, sir, it sounds like you may need to alert the proper authorities if you think he's going to go shoot up a school.
No, I'm saying this happened about 2 years ago.
Okay. All right, well, thank you so much, Scott. Let's move on now. We have Mike in Tennessee, you want to say, I guess you have the thought no one died at Sandy Hook. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike in Tennessee. Okay, I guess we lost Mike in Tennessee. In the headline there, it said that no one died in Sandy Hook, so I don't know if he was debating that or what his deal was. Let's talk to Mark in California. And before I go to you, Mark, let's get the number out again. It's 1-800-259-9231. Once again, it is 1-800-259-9231. Go ahead, Mark in California.
Speaking of numbers, do you have the telephone number for Formula Heart and Body Extract? Because they gave it out too fast.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, sir. I think you were referring to one of the ads that run on the network. I don't have that number in front of me.
Okay. Well, the reason why I called was there's a story here in San Jose that aired on October 29th. And I'm telling you, I'll never forget when Kennedy was killed, when I was at Our Lady of Mount Carmel in first grade. I'll never forget 9/11, and I'll never forget Vicki Nguyen. When she aired that story on NBC, it's been 53 days, my brother, and I've played it over and over. You know, I went down to the Board of Supervisors here in San Jose. I've prayed, and I will continue to pray, that there was a 4-year-old girl that was in a foster house in San Jose, and that poor mother had pictures of how she had been brutally beaten for 5 months. It took 5 months before finally they got that kid out of the house. And David Cortese says he's going to try and do something about it, but we have a lot to pray about these days, because I went down there Tuesday, as a matter of fact, and they know why I'm there. I'm there for this one issue, okay? And there was only 4 speakers, and he says, okay, there's only 4 speakers. We get 3 minutes apiece. The first lady gets 3 minutes. The second guy, who talked about, as he put it, immigrants whose fears they have to be deported, gets 6 minutes. And so I get up there, and I mentioned this. The other guy got like about 5 minutes, and he says, you're eating away at your time. And he knew why I was there, because I had my T-shirt on that says to Google Alex Jones and John DeCamp on the Franklin cover-up, which is directly linked with this whole thing with this 4-year-old girl. But it's a huge, huge story, and I'm just hoping and praying that, I called CBS, or NBC rather, on their tip line. They did call me back, and I said, I know a man, I've got his number, named Doug Millar, who studied along these same lines. If Vicki Nguyen can interview Doug Millar, she will blow this whole thing out of the water. And they still haven't called Doug Millar, although I've given NBC their number. But he would be a great interview for you fine folks there on InfoWars and KOMY 1340 to interview. I mean, the guy is a certified hero. He passed out like 160 flyers outside the house of MKUltra Michael Aquino, who was the head of the National Security Agency, warning the neighbors up there in Leavenworth. I won't give his address for reasons.
Sir. Just give us that stuff at showtips@infowars.com, and we'll take a look at it. Thank you so much, Mark in California. Let's go ahead and take a look at another clip. We have this clip of Hillary Clinton that happened this past weekend on the debate. And people have been asking us why we didn't cover the Democrat debate. Well, they had it on a Saturday night, before the Christmas weekend. Everybody has, a lot of other things to do on the weekend. So I think it was rather strategically placed, to be quite honest with you. You're going to have a Democratic debate the weekend that Star Wars comes out, and nobody's going to watch it in the first place. So a lot of people didn't see Mrs. Clinton when she decided just to show up late to the debate. The guys are killing time, filling time, trying to make up for her. She walks out, and everybody's like, oh, man, she's a rock star or something. You know how the big rock bands, they'll start the show late? It was somewhat like that. So if we have that clip, we can go ahead and play Mrs. Clinton when she graced us with her presence.
We have a packed audience here in New Hampshire, and we're going to continue. We've already had a spirited conversation here at the top of the broadcast about ISIS, about concerns of terror here on the home front. And as we await Secretary Clinton backstage here, we're going to begin on the economy. We want to turn to the American jobs, wages, and raises in this country. And we believe Secretary Clinton will be coming around the corner any minute. But in the meantime, we want to start with this eye-opening number. And Senator Sanders, this question goes to you first anyway. In 1995, the median American household income was $52,600 in today's money. This year, it's 53,600. That's 20 more years on the job with just a 2% raise. In a similar time frame, raises for CEOs up more than 200%.
Oh, here she is. She's walking on stage.
Sorry.
We're going to continue here, and Secretary, you'll get a chance on this, too.
That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Once again, the number to call in is 800-259-9231. It is 800-259-9231. So there you see there's kind of the hubris of these people. Like, yeah, I'll be there when I get there. Then we can just start the debate. All right, let's go ahead and talk to Chase in Texas. You want to talk about the election? Go ahead, Chase.
Thank you, sir. I kind of think that, when it gets to Cleveland, if the will of the people choose whoever, if it's Trump or whoever, and Jeb's going to angle it and play this delegate thing, that could be possibly how they want to try to provoke some sort of an uprising. So I hope that doesn't happen. And as far as Clinton, I mean, how do we know this woman is not fully healthy to be president?
You're talking about Clinton?
Yeah, there's no way in the world that she should represent the people, I don't think. I mean, forget all the checkered past. I mean, she's medically not fit, in my opinion. I mean, is she suffering from incontinence? How come she can't get back to the podium in time? Because she's a woman? It's ridiculous. I think that either giblet head Jeb or Argus at the top of a dung heap Clinton, we do not need any more in this country. The burnout hippies, baby boomers need to step aside and let the millennials, the youth, lead this nation. I'm a firm believer in that. I've called in way too much over the past time. I just wanted to call in and give my 2 cents. Thank you for taking my call. But remember, folks, when you speak out, they will come on you. But there's a crescendo coming in this country, and the establishment knows it. And I'm not trying to preach to the choir here, but there will be. Hopefully, I mean, I think the future can be bright, but we got to start talking about projects. We got to start talking about getting everybody back to work. I read a lot of LaRouche literature, but though I am a Rand Paul supporter, I don't care. I want to win.
I think we all want to win.
It can be bright.
Yeah, we think we all want to win.
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Chase. All right, that was Chase in Texas. All right, now I want to play this video because I don't think we had a chance earlier today. Now, this is a Muslim refugee saying that the main goal is to Islamicize Europeans. And actually, I don't think it's in English, so maybe we can just roll the video and I'll just say what the guy is saying for all the viewers here. Okay, so this is the headline. Muslim refugee says the main goal is to Islamicize Europeans. And Kit did a hot topic about this as well. And they were talking to a guy. He was on a train. He was interviewed by a Arabic television station. And he says, my main goal for leaving Syria is to lead people to the acceptance of Islam. And he says the individual says that he is willing to sell his country and even his own parents in order to reach paradise by converting Europeans to Islam, who in turn will then Islamicize others. And the video is available on Infowars.com if you guys want to go and look at it at your leisure. So let's go back to our calls now. Let's see who's been holding the longest. We have Bill in Wisconsin. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, hello, Jakari.
Hey.
Yeah, I got a question about false flags. We've had a lot of false flags in the United States, and I mean, even before 9/11. And the question I have is, why do the American people keep falling for these things? Well, it's over and over and over again.
Yeah, well, if it's like, let's think of a football game, right? So if you run a QB sneak up the middle and you score a touchdown every time, won't you keep running the same thing? So it's this, I guess, conspiracy nature, to use that word. You know, anytime you question an official story, just like when we talked about the Daily Beast article today, because you point out things like there's a SWAT guy reported in the woods from a neighboring county, how they said the shooter was running back and forth between the building and his car and stuff like that. The simple fact that you point that out, people equate that to saying that you say that nobody died in Sandy Hook. And it's that same kind of deal when things are actual false flags. When you talk about Gulf of Tonkin, or you talk about the bombing of the World Trade Center in 1993, 1993, when they had the guy cook the bomb, they blew up the basement, and then they tried to blame it on him. The only thing that saved his bacon was that he had recordings from the FBI where they said, yeah, we want you to build us a real bomb. He's like, why do you want to build a real bomb? You're going to kill you. Let us worry about that. So it's that kind of deal, and I think it's really the shock and awe that people can't accept that certain individuals, I don't want to say the government in general, but certain individuals within the government would be willing to do such a horrendous thing, whether you talk about giving black people syphilis and all these other type of horrific things that have gone on in our country. Nobody wants to admit that our own government could do it because we're supposed to be the light on the hill, right? We're supposed to have the moral authority, so nobody wants to believe that our own government could be a part of something so heinous. Thank you so much, Bill in Wisconsin. I hope I answered your question right there. I think we have time for maybe one quick call before we go to break. Let's go ahead and talk to Rob in Maine. Go ahead, Rob. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry, Rob. Hold that thought. I went to you a little bit too late. We'll come back to you right after this break, so stay tuned. This is Jakari Jackson on the Alex Jones Show. Stay tuned. InfoWars Nightly News coming up tonight, but we're going to go over some more of your calls and tell you about the great specials available at InfoWarsShop.com. Stay tuned.
My name is Don Wiskin, and at 42 years old, I suffered a massive heart attack and was told I'd be on disability for the rest of my life. What did I do? I created Extendivite, a garlic and cayenne mix of 7 herbs which rebuilt my heart and gave me back my life. For over 17 years now, I have made this formula available to you, so you don't have to suffer the same thing I did. Clean your blocked arteries and strengthen your heart and boost your natural immune system. I'm 60 years old now, and I still work every day. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
We have been fighting this war tirelessly with you at our side, day in and day out, exposing the ludicrous lies and criminal operations of the globalists, and we're starting to see big effects. And the word is getting out. The globalists want to make us dependent, and as Napoleon famously said, an army marches on its stomach. Ammunition, food, and supplies form the backbone of any offensive, including the info war. And our enemies admit they're losing the info war.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
With this in mind, we have held strong to our principles and the decision to refuse any money from globalists or government. We are funding our crusade against tyranny the old-fashioned way, with pure free market, free will capitalism. Visit InfoWarsStore.com today or call 888-253-3139 and take advantage of free shipping right through December 18th and get your order before Christmas. May God bless you and your family and keep us strong as we forge ahead in this battle for humanity.
911, what is your emergency? There's somebody in my house. Hurry, please.
A home break-in happens every 22 seconds. Homes without a security system are up to 3 times more vulnerable to a burglary. That's why there's Simply Safe. In an emergency, our advanced wireless technology alerts police up to 10 times faster. And your connection to emergency services can't be cut because Simply Safe doesn't rely on landlines. Simply Safe costs less than half what traditional companies charge. Just $14.99 a month, and there's no commitment to an annual contract. Protect your family with the highest caliber security. Go now to simplysafedefense.com and get 10% off with free shipping and a 3-year warranty. Hurry, and you'll also receive a keychain remote worth $25. Try Simply Safe for a full 60 days. You'll feel confident that your family is safe or your money back. Go to simplysafedefense.com right now. simplysafedefense.com.
And welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. Now, very briefly, we want to tell you about PrisonPlanet.tv, where right now you can get 6 months free when you get a year membership. That is 10 cents a day. And with Prison Planet, you get access to HD videos of the InfoWars Nightly News, exclusive films, ebooks, and special reports. And you're also supporting the InfoWar because we had a caller earlier say, hey, man, I want you guys to come to my neighborhood. You know, we'd love to go all over the country, all over the world, but those things do cost money. If you want us to airdrop Joe Biggs into your neighborhood with a flaming guitar of awesomeness, go ahead and get your subscription to PrisonPlanet.tv. Now, we got cut off by the break. I was talking to Rob in Maine. So go ahead, Rob, and finish your point.
Oh, thanks, Jakari. I've been doing this for 13 years, doing my own public access show, trying to wake people up. So I know the level of cognitive dissonance that is going on out there. So I have a big, important question. I was trying to get through to Alex because I'm really curious. I saw Joe Rogan completely discredit chemtrailing a couple of years ago on his television show. Now, I'm sure others have seen it, and but when I saw that, I completely convinced he's a traitor. I just felt like he was a traitor, a sellout. He completely discredited it. So if you guys could get to that or address that, why Joe Rogan did that, said that.
All right, thank you so much, Rob in Maine. I've heard of that episode of Joe Rogan. I've never actually seen it. I know he and Alex are friends, so I guess that'd be a better question for him to address. Now, as far as chemtrails, not everything is a chemtrail. I'm sure you know that, Rob, but, even I've made mistakes in the past looking at, like, force-fighting planes, dropping their ordnance, and I mistakenly said those things were chemtrails. Not everything is a chemtrail, but we have seen reports like what in the world are they saying, or what in the world are they spraying, where they talk about how things like aluminum have increased dramatically since they started spraying whatever it is, whether you want to call them chemtrails, persistent contrails, whatever, persistent aerosol trails, whatever the proper term may be. There has been a change since they've been doing this for the past several years. Thank you for calling. Let's go ahead and talk to Dean in Utah. Go ahead, Dean.
Hey, Jakari. It's Dean in Utah. First-time caller, long-time listener. I just wanted to say, Trump has got this whole thing so upset. It's driving the elite crazy. I know it is. And Jeb made that statement that you guys pointed out that he will never be president. And I was just wondering, do you know if they've got the popular vote, can they really do that to him? Can they knock him off?
Well, we've seen them like refusing things to, Ron Paul a couple elections ago. As far as the delegate process, I guess that'd be a better question for Richard Reeves. He's our reporter out there on the scenes. He's going to all the campaign trails. So maybe the next time he gets in or we Skype with him, he can answer that a little better than I can. Thank you. I'm going to move on to the next caller for the sake of time. Let's go ahead and talk to Alex in Michigan. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, what's going on, Jakari?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I just want to say you guys are doing a really good job. You and Leanne doing a really good job.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I was going to talk about ISIS in Michigan maybe. I don't mean to be like Islamophobic or whatever, but I hear like we have like the biggest Muslim population or whatever. I don't know if you've heard anything about that.
Oh, I don't know about what the population is, but you can tell me more. We're coming to the end, so make your point very quickly.
Just great job with all the products. The iodine X2 is excellent. I'm going to try the coffee, too, the immune coffee with the mushrooms. I hear that's really good.
All right, thank you so much. Brian in California, you have 20 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, finally waking up and looking up this morning and seeing the persistent chemtrails in the air. I was wondering, let's say they're harmless right now, but what's to stop them from doing what they did in Goldfinger when they had Operation Grand Slam?
All right, well, thank you so much, Brian. I'm sorry, we are completely out of time. Call in tomorrow and they'll let you make your point. More news tonight. InfoWars Nightly News, 7 p.m. Central.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
Secret 12, InfoWars Life's vitamin B12 formulation. Most forms of vitamin B12 are highly processed and synthetic and cannot be properly absorbed by the body. That's why for real results, so many are having to turn to painful B12 injections, which are known to have higher absorption rates. InfoWarsLife.com is excited to announce that we can bring you our most bioactive, powerful form of B12 that has been developed with our exclusive perfected process. Secret 12 is a binary of nutrimedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin. Secret 12 is simply taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Discover the secret. Secret 12. Secure your revolutionary Secret 12 formula right now at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. InfoWars Life, Secret 12.